welcome back everyone, welcome back to another week, another day, another edition here of the LiuLi Cup 2025 Grand Finals Group C, the third group here of the group stage of LiuLi Cup. Welcome one and all. I'm of course your side VIP, with him I'm joined by these amazing players and by the people in the chat as well. Welcome, bienvenidos papi, bienvenidos. Welcome to our catch-up broadcast here of the LiuLi Cup Grand Finals. Now for those that are curious, for those that are maybe unaware, the event does say 2025, and that is because LiuLi Cup was a monthly tournament that was taking place throughout the course of 2025, and now coming into 2026 we do have the grand finals, seeing together all the top placing players from the last year of play and last year of tournaments facing off here and now before us. Let's go, let us go. We do have our group stage. We already covered group A and group B previously, and now we're diving into group C. Let us head on over and catch up on the group itself. Un momento, un momento. As we start things over and catch up, here we go. We have our GSL group, bearing in mind that it is going to be GSL group, not a round robin. So players are going to be facing off against winners, against losers, and eventually we'll have our top two players making it out of the group. We have Scarlett, Trigger, herO, and ByuN. A pretty hefty group here, not gonna lie. Trigger has been on fire as of late, likewise so has ByuN. herO has been winning everything, and Scarlett has recently made her return, especially leading into the Thunderfire show matches at the start of the year. Again, Scarlett, it's difficult to kind of get a read on the current level of play that Scarlett is at, but as I mentioned, in the lead up to Thunderfire, Scarlett was playing, was practicing, and was getting ready for that big show match that she did have over in China. So Scarlett is in better form than she has been in quite some time. Likewise, though, I will say the same about all the other players as well. Trigger has been peaking in skill. Trigger recently, of course, taking down some top players, especially in PvP. Likewise, even in PvT as well. So Trigger, he recently did defeat Clem, recently did defeat a Classic and herO as well, so Trigger has been looking like a beast. ByuN likewise has been grinding TVP so much over the past couple of weeks. Still a matchup that is being worked on, but he's definitely been grinding it quite a bit. And of course herO has won all the big Premier Major events over the past 3 months. It's crazy. But here we go, we're getting into our first series of the broadcast. We're going to be starting things off with Scarlett versus Trigger, then into herO versus ByuN. Let's go, let us go. Game 1 is going to be on the Old Republic. Meanwhile, shout out to Salensvard in the chat. I see Slow Joe as well getting first over on YouTube. True. Bienvenidos. Este Orstes as well. Este Orstes. Senjo. Bienvenidos. Dynaminosaur? True. Bienvenidos. And here we go, spawning in the bottom left hand corner of the Old Republic. We have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right hand corner, we have her opponents. We have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. Let's go. Wasn't Scarlett balancing the game that flopped? No, you are confusing Zero Space with Stormgate. Zero Space has not come out yet. Zero Space, I think, is set to release later this year, I believe. Later this year. So no, you're confusing RTSs. Confusing, man. Also, I think balancing would be the incorrect word there. Think more game design. But yes, I believe she is or was a consultant alongside Cats. Infamously. So Cats, Scarlett, and I'm sure there's another that I'm forgetting. Early access later this year. Yeah. Here we go. We do have our initial opener. Hatch Gas Pool. Scarlett forced take the unnatural due to the pro block. So already a bit of an awkward start for Scarlett. Meanwhile, across the map, Trigger is going to be settling in, going gate expand. True battle for Canada here as we have our two Canadian players. Again, Trigger at this point has cemented himself as the best player in the North Americas. Did overpass and did overcome Australia last year. True. Australia did hold that mantle for quite some time. Trigger has since taken it from Australia, and we'll see how Scarlett compares. Again, as I mentioned before, it's a little bit more difficult to kind of get a read on Scarlett's current level, just because she has been showcasing less games as of late. She was very inactive in 2025, but as I mentioned as well, she has been more active in recent months in the lead up to the Thunderfire Invitational. So we'll see how she compares to Trigger. Let's go. Let's go for now. Just droning, saturating. Link speed is on the way, pulling out of gas. Welcome to the Old Republic. Old Republic is one of the larger maps of the map, pull longer rush distance by ground, and we do often see longer and later games. Specifically, if we do see aggression, it is typically off of a 3-base economy, so we're expecting a standard opener here out of Scarlett. Meanwhile, Trigger isn't really one to deviate too much. Trigger, he's a relatively standard player, so we should be seeing Stargate opener into a 3rd base, into +1 and blink. Is Trigger one that has been embracing +1 and charge? That's what I'm curious about. For those that are unaware, over the past 3 months-ish, coming up in 3 months at this point, we have seen a big shift in the meta in PvZ, and we've been seeing many a Protoss player go into early charge-based builds, punishing Ling Hydra. Ling Hydra is the go-to. Ling Hydra is the standard, or at least was the standard in ZVP for so long, going up against going up against Oracle into Blink Stalkers. But in recent times, herO, Classic, Max Specs, I mean, everyone has been going for these earlier charge builds that have been catching Zerg players with their pants down. Have been getting called out, have been getting punished. So we'll see if Trigger is one to embrace that as well. As for now, we are going to be building up, claiming our 3rd bases. It's going to be Oracle into a 3rd. We're going to be looking for that Twilight Council timing and the eventual tech of choice. Likewise, from the side of Scarlett, we're looking for either the earlier Evo Chamber, Roach Warren, or Lair. We'll see. As Trigger does get the NG overcharge, so far defending the 3rd base. Saturating, probing. And we should soon be seeing our Twilight Council. And looks like it's not going to be early. Okay, so it looks like a standard timing here when it comes to the tech. Yep, Forge and Twilight Council. Everything's looking normal so far. So there's a higher chance it is going to be +1 and blink. Okay, we're calming down. Speaking of a standard opener from the Protoss, so we have the early Evo Chamber out of Scarlett. Should be +1 melee. So it looks like Ling Hydra out of Scarlett, and meanwhile +1 and blink out of Trigger. This is a standard as standard can get. Ooh, is it a kill on a pylon? Pylon goes down. Oracles are still looking for a way in. One towards the main, the other towards the 3rd base. Queens are keeping up. Despite that, 2 drones go down. Ooh, sustaining a lot of hull damage. The Oracle does get away. Oracle on the main base, likewise, taking hull damage as well. 3 drones go down in total. At least the Oracles do get out. So far, it's an okay trade for Trigger. It's okay. Just because he got away. Did get away. And yeah, it's been a while. It's been a while since we've seen +1 blink against Ling Hydra. It's been a while. Coming into this opener, opener-wise at least, build-wise, Scarlett is looking to be in better shape and better form. As we're going to be able to drone up, saturate, build up to 4 bases. The question becomes, does Scarlett drone up even further, up to 70 workers, and build up in towards a longer late game, or do we see 3-base aggression out of Scarlett instead? Bailing as, okay, we're being a little bit safer here, going Ling, Bane, Hydra. Not skipping Bailings. Trigger, meanwhile, taking up. Charge now on the way, going to Storm. Building up into the Templar Archives. So far, it's been a pretty passive game. Sure, we've seen Oracle harass and some Ling aggression, but that's kind of been it. Oracle's a check saturation at the 4th base. Oh, as looks like there was a bit of a pause. Oh no, but I thought was actually lagging out from the previous group as well. So Oracle's poke in. Scarlett is opting to drone. The emotes in the chat. Este Saber. Shout out to Saber, by the way. Saber is LiuLi. Saber is the organizer of the event. And the caster as well. Este Saber. Now this is going to be the first big kind of hurdle here for Trigger, because I don't know if you noticed something. Scarlett didn't drone. Scarlett droned up to 66. That is 3 base saturation. The 4th and 5th base just for Larva. Just for Larva. So Scarlett is going for a 3 base all in. We have mass links towards the top side. We have more link main and massing back at home. Hydra's going to be building up as well. Big supply block for Scarlett though. Ooh, 7 overlords on the way. Big delay here. This is giving Trigger a little bit more time to prepare back at home. Storm is now done. More High Templar amassing. I was going to say that Trigger's going to have a hard time defending the 4th base, and Trigger cancels the 4th. Does cancel, or at least does back off in that position. Does split the banelings, and Scarlett starts to drone. So now Scarlett does start droning up. Better trade for Trigger. Oracles, they're going to be shut down. Despite that, no sport the 3rd. Uh-oh. Yeah, stasis goes off. Drone's going to be going down, and Trigger defends, and Trigger attacks as well. 7 drone kills. 1 Oracle finally does fall. Scarlett once again threatening a dive. Now, on the one hand, Scarlett is forced to drone up and forced to saturate, but at least Scarlett is containing Trigger. That 4th base is still not on the way. So, very late 4th base here for Trigger. Scarlett now is droned up to 77. As soon as Trigger tries to expand, Scarlett is here to knock it down. Nice Storm. Ooh, that's a kill. That's a kill, not a cancel. Bailey's making the way towards the High Templar. The Templar barely survived. No, 1 Templar goes down. To the Storm, actually. To the friendly fire. Yes, Trigger's going to be asserting himself. So they're expanding at the same time. Nice little runway. Does get us around here on the 5th base. And the hatchery, I believe, should go down. And does. Hatchery falls. Oh, nice round with the Immortal. Despite that, the Immortal will barely survive. Trigger's maintaining his position. Maintaining that 4th. Scarlett still has not really attacked up too much. We have Infestation, but at least, so we're thinking about Hive Tech, but no Lurker Den yet. Yeah, no Lurker Den. Trigger dropping into towards the main. Scarlett does spot the drop. And there's a Lurker Den. So Lurker Den's on the way, Hive is on the way. This should be lined up so we can start Lurker upgrades immediately once the Hive does finish. Speaking of teching, Flea Peeking. Skies, oh, we're gonna be here for a while. Like, getting into our Flea Peeking. Now, as we're both teching up here, I do lean towards Trigger. Lurkers are ideal, especially against a ground-based composition, but it's not going to be ground for much longer. We are taking to the skies. Thankfully, there's only 1 Stargate, so this might only be for the mothership and a very slow transition into Sky Toss. It does mean that Lurker is going to be a little bit more effective for longer. Trigger is spreading nicely here. More cannons, no batteries yet. Fleet Peaking now done. And Trigger can start that mothership. Speaking of, yep, there it is. Mothership's on the way. Okay, there's no big switch into Sky just yet. Overseer will scout, will confirm. And Scarlett does spot the mothership. And the carrier. Interesting. Ooh, oh god. Yes. Massive chunk of banelings go down. Nice Storm. Lings, they do catch a reinforcing Immortal. Nicely done. The Immortal gets trapped. Despite that, the Oracle will protect, actually. Oh no! Does still get the Immortal. Nice catch out of Scarlett. The army's still building up. Oh, and we're throwing down 2 more Stargates. So now we're seeing the actual switch into Skytoss. I will say that these Stargates are a little bit late. Trigger definitely could have thrown them down earlier. Ooh, as the High Templar gets caught. God, the storms are brutal there. Jesus. The storms, they just annihilate the Ling Bane. But here we go. The Lunkers are finally on the way. 9 Lurkers. This will hit pre-Skytoss. Assuming Trigger doesn't find this. Uh-oh. Storms are coming in. Up! Oh my god, massive Archon shots. Baners go down. Lurkers get spotted. Denying 1, 2, 3 Lurkers are on their own. Limited anti-air here with the army. Carriers moving in. And some rough losses there for Scarlett. Behind this is now switching into Corruptors. But Scarlett is losing momentum. Here we go. We have Zealots towards the south side. The main army towards the top. 6th base goes down. And Lurkers are tied up. Tied up against the main army. We got a wall of Spore Crawlers on the way. They're still coming back. Ling Runway is attempted. Will force defensive warpins. Lings into the main as well. Oh my god. Okay. Forcing a recall. Ooh, as we're being a little bit chaotic here. Prism is being thrown away. Main army pushes towards the south side. 5th base goes down. The middle line under fire as well. No, the Lurkers. Oh god, that's 4 Lurkers going down. Massive damage. And Scarlett's bleeding out too much. Scarlett losing the 6th expansion, the 5th expansion, Lurkers as well. Scarlett plummets in supply. And throughout all of this, we have carriers amassing. That's a scary thing here. As the Trigger is switching to Skytoss, and Scarlett can't afford to switch into Corruptors. Not anymore. Trigger being a little bit careless here. A little bit wasteful. Rallies out to Immortals, gets cleaned up. Trigger pulls back. Trigger currently on 1, so to be 4 carriers. And I believe there is 0 Corruptors. Yeah, 0 Corruptors. There's only 5 Hydras. The anti-air is non-existent here for Scarlett. I mean, Scarlett is hyper-fixated on the ground army for good reason. But the Skytoss is coming. The army's going to be zoned away. No detection yet. The observer's a little bit out of position, but now coming in. And Lurkers have to get the hell out of here. Have to pull away. Scarlett still struggling on a low base count on a low economy. And the Lurkers are buying time, but everything will change once the carriers arrive. Once we get into our Skytoss. Again, technically Tempest are a more efficient unit, that is true, but when you're up against no Corruptors, like carriers, they can overwhelm. They can shut down Hydra Lurker. As they're more ideal against a mass Hydra army. Yeah, the army just avoids the Lurkers. Speaking of, there are 19 Lurkers, Scarlett. It's a lot of Lunkers. And again, it would be a little bit cleaner here for Tempest to chip away at this army, but I mean, carriers, they're doing what they can. They'll make it. They'll break through. Trigger does have to be careful with this ground army. Has to be careful at the same time. Main army pushing on the south side. Massive storms and Lurkers. GG gets cold. Scarlett's torn apart, and Trigger will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. A very interesting back and forth here. For the most part, it was a pretty passive and tame early game and early to mid game. We kind of build up to an initial 4 bases. We saw that Scarlett initially did go for a big commitment on 3 bases on 66 drones and went for a Link Flood, and then recognized that Trigger cancelled his 4th base and stayed on a 3 base economy instead. Scarlett was able to take out from there in towards Hive Tech and towards Lurkers. I would say that the decision to take up was a little bit late for Scarlett. That is true. There was still a a window in time where Scarlett could maybe try to abuse Trigger, but Trigger would just was all over the place when it came to Zealot Warp in, Zealot and Warpism Harass into the main base, in towards the southern side, splitting up his army and pushing into locations at once. It made it difficult here for lurkers to actually be in position to defend these fringe locations, to defend these fringe bases. Very often we do see Zerg players gain map control in ZVP and be able to get eyes on these kind of move outs, but Trigger did fight for map control quite hard and overwhelmed. GG. GG, well played. With that, Trigger takes the lead, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. We'll see if Trigger can claim it here, and now we'll see if Scarlett can bounce back as we load into one of the smaller maps instead, as we load into 10,000 feet. Let's go. And spawning in the top left-hand corner here of 10,000 feet, we have the Canadian Zerg player, we have the blue Zerg. Oh, we have the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the other Canadian player, the Canadian Protoss, the red Protoss for Basilisk. It is a Trigger. Here we go. Dreadis, run from it. Skytoss arrives all the same. There's always one constant in the world. That is Skytoss. Splurge. But I should emphasize as well that although that last game, it wasn't really about the Skytoss, it was more about the maneuverability and the aggression of Trigger with a ground-based army, right? It was not the Skytoss that was killing the 6th, the 5th, and doing economic damage. It was the Zealots, Archon, Storm, Immortal heavy composition, which Trigger was able to split in half, and kind of hit multiple locations at once, and Scarlett had a very, very hard time dealing with that. And then the killing blow, of course, was the Skytoss at the end. But again, that was an impressive setup there from Trigger. But here we go. I'm going to be settling into game number 2. Once again, hatch gas pool, standard opener out of Scarlett. Trigger likewise going for the gate expand, and welcome to 10,000 feet. Now, last game we had a relatively tame early and mid game, as we mentioned. We were just droning, saturating, building up our bases. That was to be expected on the Old Republic, but here on 10,000 feet, this is where aggression can be a little bit more intense on a lower base count. 2 and 3 base play, we do see that quite a bit here on 10,000 feet. We've seen German taxis, we've seen early all-ins, so Scarlett does have more early game options available somewhat. I say somewhat, there's a bit of a give and take here on 10,000 feet. The rush distance is really short. True, it's very, very short, and what that means is that whenever you take a really rough fight or a bad fight in the center of the map, or even defensively back at home, then it can very quickly just swing in favor of the aggressing player, because reinforcements hit so fast on this map. On the flip side, though, to compensate, we have our 3rd and 4th bases, which are very centralized. You can keep your army parked here in the center, and you can respond to an attack on the top side or left side. Like, there's only 2 kind of ways into a 4-base setup. Your natural is very safe and very secure, as the expansion's in front of the natural, I should say. So trying to turtle up here on 4 bases is a little bit more viable. The map is helping you in that case. So we could see just a very defensive Trigger instead. We shall see. But now, Stargate open out of Trigger. Does open Stargate. Last game we saw a very standard build out of Trigger. This time we could see something more feisty. Could see something more aggressive. Eyes are on Trigger. Ooh, Trigger commits. It commits into the mineral line, gets 1. 1 drone goes down. Zergling as well. No major pickoffs yet. Just being active. Looking for a way in here, hunting for the creep tumor. Tumors are safe. And the 3rd is on the way. Now, because the map is so small, I wouldn't be opposed to a safer build instead, going into earlier blink, into a later forge, for example. We have 10 Lings on the way. Scarlett is looking to move out. Oh, Lings, they do slip in. Okay. Slip to the main. They're wasting energy on the Oracle. At least on one. There's the tech. Standard timing. Everything so far is looking just like game one. So far. Scarlett did make an extra 10 settlings. Pokes in, zones away, keeps the Oracle busy back at home. And we're opening up Lair first this time. Okay, Scarlett does deviate. Oh, at the same time, though, no Spore in the natural. 5 drones go down. Oh, that should not have happened. Yeah, 5 drone kills at the same time. 1 probe goes down across the map. Oracle's still alive. But very quickly here, this game is going to be Lair first. Remember, what was last game? Last game was Evo Chamber first. Evo Chamber first does telegraph Ling Hydra with a faster Lair and an earlier Roach Warren. It's looking like either Roach into Mutas or Roach into Hydra. Oh, but meanwhile, it is going to be a different build here. We're going into early charge. Now, a couple of things. We did mention this previously, but +1 and charge, this is ideal against Ling Hydra. But it's not Ling Hydra, it's a more Roach heavy style instead. Assuming that Scarlett doesn't go Mutas. Oh. Hello. Okay. Interesting. Are we thinking about Swarm Host? I mean, Swarm Hosts are viable, especially against charge, but what has Scarlett seen? Scarlett, I believe, didn't see any Zealot Warp-ins, but maybe just is just aware of Trigger's tendencies. I don't think we've seen any major tell. But Swarm Host can be very effective against charge Archon play styles. We'll see. Let him cook, Mackie. Let him cook. Who hits first? True, true. So the pit is done. Do we invest into Swarm Host? Scarlett is building up Overlords. Spreading creep. Yeah, the creep highway's on the way. Did Trigger see the infestation bit? Did. Oh, fake out. Okay, now this makes a little bit more sense. No, we're getting an Evo Chamber. Okay, we're getting an Evo Chamber. For a moment, I thought that it was a fake out and Scarlett was going to go for an all-in. But Scarlett is getting an Evo Chamber. There it is. There, the Swarm Host. My concern is that Trigger's about to move out. And we'll see if the Swarm Hosts are ready in time. It's going to be a very clutch hold. Very, very clutch. Here comes the move out. Charge is now done. Remember, this is designed to punish a player not going Roaches, and Scarlett did skip Roaches. Scarlett only has 5. No, only 5 Roaches. Did I say 5? Down to 4. Down to 3. Down to 3. Yeah, there's going to be 3 Roaches left. Swarm Hosts, they reveal themselves, and Trigger just has to back off. Just back off and just wait out the Locust Wave. Or could even just commit. Yeah, Zeltse busts into the bases, Locust Wave collapsing on the first Archon. Force to land, Prism comes in, can reinforce. And there it is, going for a massive warp in. Trigger's going for the kill, going for the throats. Again, it was a cheeky build here from Scarlett, rushing into Swarm Hosts like this, but as we mentioned, without Roaches, there is no defense. There is no defense. Zeltse break through the front door, they bust into the natural, another massive warp in the face of Scarlett. Keeps warping in, and again, there is no defense here. The Swarm Hosts are on cooldown, they do nothing, they're dead supply. And Zeltse break into the main expansion. They surround the Roaches. There's 3 Roaches left. Down to 3 Roaches, there's another Locust Wave. Even then, though, it may not matter. Trigger does respect the Locust, okay. Does respect. Backs off, catching out more Roaches. Roach Warren goes down as well. Massive pickoff. And GG gets called. GG gets called. Trigger will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the winners match. GG. GG, well played. Again, Trigger this time did go for the more common aggressive build. I say common, I mentioned this at the beginning of the broadcast, but these builds have been rising in popularity, specifically early charge and early +1 before blink. We've been seeing it a lot from all the top Protoss players, and it is designed to punish a Zerg player that's being a little bit too greedy and taking up too hard, specifically and traditionally players that skip Banelings and skip Roaches. And we saw that in a different way. Scarlett didn't rush into Hydras, but instead rush into Swarm Hosts. And as we saw, only had 5 Roaches to work with, and instantly 2 of them got surrounded. So there was no defense. Locust Wave, it got shut down real fast and real quick. GG. GG, well played. When it comes to Swarm Hosts and ZVP, they are an option, they are viable, especially against an Archon charge dot heavy composition. If this was like an Archon drop opener, then I can definitely see this working for sure. The reason why it can work against charge dot Archon is because there are no blink stalkers, so it can be difficult for the Protoss player to keep up with the Nidus worms and to punish the Swarm Host. But as you saw, specifically against early charge builds, Swarm Hosts leave you vulnerable. I mean, as they would with most, against most all-ins. But GG. GG, well played. With that, Trigger will claim the series. Trigger does advance on into... Oh, there we go. Sorry, just fixing up the scoreline. Trigger does advance on into the next round, and we'll see who will join at Trigger. Now, bearing in mind that this is a GSL group, so Scarlett is knocked down to the elimination match, where Scarlett is waiting for the loser of the next series. Here we go. Up next is going to be a PvT between herO and ByuN. Here we go. It's fun to see different builds. Yeah, I mean, again, it can work. Like, going Swarm Host can work, but specifically, I would say it's like an option against an Archon drop opener, not a charge opener. But here we go. We were just gambling, man. The gamba. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner here of Winter Madness, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the red Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left hand corner, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Here we go. And again, herO, he has been on fire over the past couple of months here, winning everything. Starting, of course, back in December, winning RSL, Thunderfire, Rongi Cup as well. It's been insane to see herO on a tear ever since December. And we'll see if that trend continues. Meanwhile, ByuN has been working on his TVP. Like, it's still something that is working on. I think I would even go as far as say it's his best matchup, to be fair. But again, going up against the best Protoss players in the world, it's still a difficult kind of task to handle. It's a difficult mountain to climb, whether it's herO, Classic, Max Packs. It is still a struggle. Now, ByuN does open up double gas opener out of ByuN. Going for a more tech-heavy start, going for a faster factory. Fun fact, this is a rematch. If you remember, this week we actually casted these two in a best of 5 in the finals of Sparkling Tunica. Did cast them in the finals, and herO was hyper aggressive, and I mean, herO did spoilers, I suppose, but do check out the VODs for Tunica. But herO was a beast in that event. ByuN was able to hold his own a little bit for a time, for sure, but herO was just so chaotic and so aggressive, mixing in Stargate openers and proxies and earlier charge builds, earlier blink builds. Like, herO was very flexible, very flexible, and that's kind of the big strength of herO, is his willingness to kind of diversify and kind of like throw whatever he can at the wall and see what sticks. He's willing to be experimental. There we go. Was this after STC? This was pre-STC. Pre-STC. Technically, STC was the rematch. True. There we go. ByuN does scout. It does check the left-hand side, looking for a proxy. Opening up Rex. Oh, okay, opening up into a second Reaper into Hellion. So it's going to be a Reaper Hellion opener out of ByuN. A very light aggression with Reaper Hellion. The goal here typically is economic damage. This does not scale well into a longer game. We're looking for some probe kills and also scouting information. Hallucination does confirm. hero's in position, and herO goes for his tech of choice. Twilight Council gets scouted. So Twilight Council open out a herO working towards blink. ByuN does break in. Breaks through the front door. Takes down the first probe. Not bad. One probe goes down. Getting a second probe just barely. Do we get three? We do. Oh my god, just barely. Three probes go down. In the end, a 1-to-1 trade. 2 Reapers and a Hellion for 3 workers. It's okay. It's not ideal, but it's an okay trade. And got a full scout to confirm the gateways and the Twilight Council. Behind this, ByuN setting up for an early drop. Going for the follow-up. Based on what we're seeing here, it looks like herO is going for a greedy build. It's going to be 2-gate blink into a third base. So herO is cutting corners. herO's being very, very light when it comes to his aggression as well. Just a very low gate count. Spell to the army. Containing ByuN. Oh. Nice catch on the Stalker. Very nice. Blink is not done. Yeah, Blink is still on the horizon here, so the Cyclone does punish. Nice pick off side of ByuN. Meanwhile, there's a third base for herO. As herO does try that position. Once again, they're getting punished. As ByuN is committing into a push. Jesus. Yeah, catching out one of the Stalkers. Very nice pickup. Yeah, they pick up micro punishing. That's 3 Stalkers going down. Ay, ay, ay. Heavy losses for herO. Remember, herO's on a low gateway count. He doesn't have many Stalkers to begin with. And ByuN's not done. ByuN, he's chasing down those Stalkers. At the same time, he's rallying out tanks and banshees. ByuN is being hyper aggressive. First banshee moves out. Oh, blink is done. Blink is done. The medevac still gets away though. Yeah, medevac gets away. herO gets punished, losing another Stalker. Heavy losses for herO. And does herO have cloak? Oh, sorry, have detection? The answer is no. There's no observer. There is a robo. But herO is being torn apart here, just being a little bit too careless with these Stalkers. Throwing away too much. Banshee moves in. 0 detection. And we can 2-shot. Yeah, we can just 2-shot probes. Getting 1, 2, 3 probes going down. Observer's being chronoed as we speak. But this is nice damage here. 0 mining in the main base. Observer has now arrived. Here he will defend, but not without losing 5 probes. 6, 7. 7 probes going down. Oh god, we're not done. Second banshee at the natural. And ByuN is just all over herO. Oh. And the pressure's on herO. Pressure is on. Gets a tank. Nice pickup, but the Prism's going to be hunted down. Sadly not as worth it. There's a scan to make sure he does not get away. Doesn't get away. Stalkers, they tend to break in. Another Stalker falls. And ByuN takes the lead. ByuN takes the lead. He's gotten so much value, has traded so much more efficiently. Catching out Stalkers, probes, economic damage. Is bleeding out some units himself. But overall, still a better position for ByuN. Now the question becomes, do we commit on 2 bases? The answer is no. Third CC. So third CC is on the way. ByuN is expanding. ByuN is building up in towards the mid game. ByuN is looking comfortable, but is not pressing that advantage. Again towards the main. Does back out. Storm is just now finishing up in 7 seconds. Storm isn't ready yet. 3 seconds away. Oh, here he shows his hand too soon. No. Yeah, again, it was 3 seconds off. There's the first storm. Ooh, double storm even. Oh no, the mines! No, the mines! Oh my god. One shot goes off, the prison barely gets away. That would have been disastrous. That would have been game. Losing 2 High Templar then and there. Jesus. As herO is still moving out. Again, it's been a very shaky mid game here for herO. And with that, ByuN establishes his third. Forcing out storms. Once again, better trades for ByuN. And here he has a ways to go to stabilize. herO behind this taking up. We have the Bay on the way for Colossus production. 4th base on the way as well. herO has at least gained map control. The goal here should just be contain. Oh, nice shot going off. Decent storm in the bio. But herO should not be pushing in. Not like this. Going for another storm. Oh, nice splits. And avoids the storm. Another flanking storm with the army, catching out Marines. But again, ByuN is holding. Again, here he didn't. It was ill-advised to try to force his way up the ramp, but at the same time, herO is behind, so he's been very pressured. He's been very pressured here to find some damage, to take some risks. It did land some storms at least. Did land some storms. herO ready for a Zealot run by. He is now amassing Colossus. He's slowly recovering in terms of his army and the quality of the army. At the same time, ByuN is turtling up. We're turtling up, throwing down sensor towers, missile turrets, more CCs, getting a 4th base. If ByuN can get a 4th base up and running, he can max out. He can sustain his army. Typically and traditionally in TVP, the goal of the Protoss is to deny the 4th. Deny the 4th base, but I don't see herO doing that. SCP. Catching out the Sulkers. This is also going to be forced back. Again, herO is lacking the map control that Protoss typically would have here in PvT. But how many High Templar does he have? 9! Okay. 9 High Templar. herO is now pushing. He's building up to 5 Colossus as well. That's a lot of splash damage. The downside is that he doesn't really have much buffer because he has so much supply invested into that AoE, into that splash damage. Doesn't have as much support. herO pokes in, he sees all the ghosts. He backs up with half his army. Just in case. Makes sense. Ooh, and ByuN is getting a 5th. EMPs are connecting. There's still 1 storm in the chamber. Here he has to be careful. Ooh, brutal EMP catching at the Archons. Yeah, 2 Archons going down. Colossus as well. Some brutal pickoffs. Oh my god, that's a massive storm. Okay. The first big storm of the game was just a connection. herO now reinforcing. He's a landing though. Vikings, they attempt to zone away. Ooh, another storm on the Vikings. Gets one Colossus. There's still 4 left. Oh, as Colossus are going down, there's 2 remaining with the main army. There's 2 Colossus remaining. herO, he does back off in time. Pulls away. And pulls away. Still doesn't have the most amazing economy here. Again, ByuN does get his 5th base up running. Planetary now morphs in. That's a scary moment for herO. He fails to deny the expansion. But it just keeps landing the EMPs. They keep landing. Oh, getting another Colossus. And what was once 5 is down to 2. Down to 2 Colossi. Still a high Templar count. So ideally at this point we'd be switching to Disruptors, as Vikings have been dominating the sky. Now we have Liberators on the way as well. Moving in. Nice EMP. Jesus, EMP catching up 2 at Templar once again. The EMPs, they just keep landing. As ByuN is still sharking around. herO double expanding, taking every base on the map. At least trying to. But again, ByuN already has a 5th. Like ByuN, he's already got his economy. He already has his bases. Once again, to go out the EMPs, they just keep landing, catching up 2 more High Templar. We're down to 7. Speaking of EMPs, oh god. ByuN, he doesn't miss. They just keep landing. Finally. Oh god, nice. Oh, calm down. Yo, herO just wants the storm, baby. Oh my god, that's like what, 6 consecutive EMPs? Just catching everything. This is also why you want to switch into Disruptors. EMPs, they can't stop them. As EMPs, they just keep connecting. We got 2 High Templar left. There we go. We land 1 storm, grazing the army. Oh my god. Okay, we got 4 storms. First does land on the Vikings. Okay. There's the Vikings. Another storm. Wasted here on Liberators. I want to say there's 2 storms left with the main army. Here he has to be careful. Oh, there he comes! Yeah, he's all clumped up. Mass EMPs! There was only 1 storm left. Storm does land, and now he has to come in. Now he has to come into the fight here. These Archons are going to go down one after the other. Every High Templar falls. Vikings, they punish the Colossus. And here is still making more Colossi. Ay, ay, ay. And now thinking about Sky Toss. Stargate's on the way. Thinking about at least a mothership. Here's trying to build up. And has a couple of fresh High Templar. True. Rotates in between the bases. EMP's A-zone away. Oof. Yeah, nice Storm of the Ghost. Storm does land. Yeah, Storm zones away as well. Once again, the EMPs are brutal and most High Templar get caught out. Again, here he has been very, very prone to clumping his High Templar. And they keep getting punished. As ByuN does go for a counter attack. Okay, base goes down. Damage is finally being done. Essentially, for this entire game, for the past 18, 19 minutes, ByuN has been turtling. ByuN, this is the first time he's actually pushing across the map. So he gets out, gets 16 probes and a base. Does pull back home. Pulls back. Crazy Link. No, gonna be losing all these stalkers. There's some rough losses there for herO. Blinking into the army. At the same time, another push on left hand side, knocking down another base. And recalls on cooldown. Recalls on cooldown. ByuN can just keep pushing. Oh my God. Yeah, the expansion goes down. The hero is trying to rotate. He has built up a hefty army. Again, he's got a lot of High Templar, a lot of Colossus. Again, due to all these bases, hero has had a booming economy, so he's rebuilt his army. As ByuN knocks down another expansion. Now we've got the mothership on the way. I believe that's the 6th Colossus. Building up to 6 Colossus. So ultimately, herO does have a lot of bases. Bearing in mind that herO needs more bases, the Protoss needs to be up in expansions compared to the Terran, otherwise they're behind. So bear that in mind. herO does have bases to spare, but now herO is losing that economy, and he needs it. If you've noticed, herO, he's been taking some really, really rough trades, losing a lot of high-tech units, and due to his economy, he could afford it. Now less so. So he's got to be careful. He's double expanding, taking these northern bases, rotating towards the south side. ByuN, it's his turn to be out of position. CC goes down. God, here comes a... Oh my God, Massey appeased! No, he clumps again! Two storms, and every High Templar got EMP'd. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, here his army gets bullied, gets forced back. We gotta calm down with the High Templars. Spread them out. Spread them out, baby. Every time. Nice snipe, catching another High Templar. Another base goes down. Ooh, as hero's going for the mass recall. Okay, bold move. He clumps up. Mothership is moving in. He's going for the recall. And we're trading bases. We're trading bases here. Top left is going to go down. Same with bottom left. Liberator's moving in. Here he has to get the hell out of here. But again, he will also lose an expansion. And may even lose the mothership. Oh my God, barely gets away. Barely does pull away. Meanwhile, the army's not done. Dives in, getting 3 High Templar. Jesus, scouting the Tempest. Prompting more Vikings. As we just rush in. Yeah, we just rush past. Catching up more production. Here he turns everything back around. He races back home. Gonna be losing 1, gonna be losing 2 robos. 3 robos even. Not quite. Yeah, not quite towards the end. So that was an expensive run by a lot of ghosts, a lot of marauders. ByuN checking for expansions. I'm sure happy to see. Bottom left is completely clear. Oh God, and freedom has arrived. Now, thankfully, here he has an answer to the Liberators. That's going to be the Tempest. But so far, he only has 4 Tempests, so very low Tempest counts. The Mothership, no! Mothership's left idle. Big snipe. Mothership goes down, and here these are his last mining bases. God, his EMPs, they just keep covering everything. Mass EMP on the army. herO double expanding. The other thing that hopefully herO notices is that he's kept replacing these bases, but he has no gases. He has no gases here, and herO's actually out of gas. He's he's running out of money. He has plenty of minerals, sure, but he's running out of gas. So that's pushing towards the planetary. Liberation zone's pushing back. We have how many? We have 22 Vikings. I mean, the mass Colossus and Tempest, they prompted this. Forcing a recall. Gets a Colossus, gets 2. And the Colossi go down. The rest of the army getting caught. At the same time, we recall here towards the left-hand side. And ByuN could keep pushing, but no, he backs up. Okay, does back off. And here he's retaking his gases. Took the gases on the left-hand side. Going for the high-yield gas as well. ByuN, he's rotating over. Again, there's a reason why herO has less supply here. It's just because he has no gas. He's down to 3 Colossus from 6. He's down to 0 Tempest, actually, losing all 4. Yeah, he lost all of his Tempest. He lost most of his Colossus. Down to 7 High Templar, which are going to be EMP'd. Okay, this time EMP's a graze the army. Liberators at deny mining, so no economy on the top side. Here is going to be denied the high yield gas geyser. Yeah, the Liberators, they force him back. Again, what was the answer to the Liberators? It was meant to be Tempest, but he lost all of them. Did lose all the Tempest. There's still 24 Vikings. You can definitely argue there are too many at this point. Earlier, you could justify because there were 4 Tempest and 6 Colossus, but now there's less in the sky, right? There's a lot less in the sky. Mothership is revealed. Army collapses in, gets another Colossus. Strong zone away. Nice snipes. Gets 1, 2, 3 High Templar. 3 Templar gets snipes. The Mothership does kill the gas geyser and SCVs. But it's gonna go down. And Mothership can't get away. It's an expensive loss there for herO. Bearing in mind that herO doesn't really have much resources to work with in terms of gas. herO's getting caught out though, okay. Catching out a couple of ghosts. Oh, nice EP. EP catching out the Tempest. Is this the only gas mining here for herO as he's being denied that? Yeah, he only has these are the only gases mining. We're mined out here in the center, likewise mined out here on the 3rd base. There's no gases on the top side, no gas, sorry, just now being taken top right. So here he has a little bit of gas income. Thankfully did take top right. Scan reveals the army. Gets a ghost. Oh, never mind. Ghost gets away. Vikings, they want the Tempest. Catching one out. I mean, a couple of well-placed storms can shut down these Vikings. They're very low. A couple of EMPs, they connect. Another base is going to go down. That's a kill, not a cancel. And ByuN has just been dominating for the past like 20 minutes. it's been crazy. Like, hero's been hanging in there, but at the same time, hero's been so inefficient. The EMPs have been insane. Sniping the Colossus, sniping the Tempest. Even here, catching it even more. That's 1, 2, 3 Tempests going down. Resets the Skytoss army. Oh, EMPs, they land on the High Templar. And here is just getting bullied. Ay, ay, ay. The past 20 minutes. A lot of it's been on hero. Like, hero was very wasteful early on. Like, ByuN just had the stronger early game. He had a very, very strong early game. If you remember here, he was wasting Stalkers. He was unable to stop the 3rd base or the 4th base of the Terran, or the 5th base, right? The 5th base got him running it real easy. And hero's broke. He's broke. He's getting cornered. He cannot get out of this. He's forced to fight, forced to engage into liberation zones. The freedom punishes. The final Colossus goes down. There's nothing left in the sky. And there's no economy. There's no economy. The Liberator did shut it down. So no mining, no gas, 0 gas income for hero. He's broke, Bap. He's broke. Barely any minerals either. And ByuN has just been so efficient this game. As hero's trying to get some mining going. Oh, there's liberation everywhere. No! hero, he has no money. He's just trying to mine. GG. GG gets called, and with that, congratulations to ByuN as he does take a lead in the series. Takes down herO here in game 1. GG. GG, well played. ByuN does take a lead in the series. Again, herO, he had a really messy early game. Very messy early game. As we pointed out, he bled out so many Stalkers early on, going for a 2-gate blink opener into a 3rd base. He bled out units. He did lose map control as a result of that, and because he lost so many Stalkers throughout the course of the early game, he could not stop ByuN from getting his 3rd, from getting his 4th, and getting his 5th base. We tried to emphasize at the time, but typically in TVP, it's on the Protoss to ensure that the Terran player has a hard time expanding. You know, the Protoss player needs map control, but herO didn't have map control. He lost map control very early on, just because he was very wasteful with his early game units, as he was trying to get some value, trying to get damage. At a certain point, it made sense. Like, if you remember, we were saying it ourselves, that because herO was behind, and it wasn't just losing his Stalkers, but remember the Banshee, it happened half an hour ago, but the Banshee was killing a bunch of workers. Like ByuN, he was ahead economically. He was able to kill 12 probes across the map, so he took that economic lead, killing workers with the Banshee, catching Stalkers with the Bio army as well. So herO, he felt pressured to get damage done because he was behind, so he took some bad fights. Did take some bad fights because he felt the need to get something done, and in the end, we kind of ended up in the mid game with the Terran player up in economy and in a way, quote unquote, up in bases. I think someone in the chat mentioned, they're like, oh, but herO, he has a bunch of expansions. I mean, he needs those bases to keep up with ByuN, and he did not have them. He could not sustain them. He needed all those expansions, and they were being knocked down time and time again. GG, well played. In the end, herO, he ran out of steam, he ran out of money, and we're now getting into Mothership for game number 2. Let's go. Let us go. Oh, right, sorry. Meanwhile, during the game itself, do apologize, but we were a little bit distracted. But a big shout out to Yoko3601. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing. Do apologize. We were a little bit engrossed in the game itself, so it did slip my mind. But thank you so much for subscribing. We do appreciate the support. Thank you. For 7 months with Twitch Prime. Thank you. Gracias. This morning in the bottom side of Mothership, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the Red Terran representing Shopify Rebellion. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Protoss, the South Korean Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Chat, herO is good, Cap. I mean, herO is literally the best Protoss player in the world. I mean, there's a reason why he's been winning everything over the past couple of months. As I mentioned, he was our most recent the RSL offline finals champion, the Thunderfire champion, Rongi Cup champion, and I won the OC season 13 champion as well. He was literally winning everything over the past 3 months. But what I will say is that, again, in game number 1, his early game was very shaky. Was very, very shaky. So we got to tighten up. For now, though, double gas opener out of ByuN once again, going for the faster factory, going for a delayed TC. herO does scout ByuN immediately, so does roll the dice and does roll well here as we're loading into Mothership, a 3-player spawn map. So herO does pull away. As a hell diver, seeing all that liberation makes my heart glow. Oh no, not like this, baby, not like this. It's a lot of liberation. The EMPs were crazy. I don't want to gloss over that either. How many times did I mean, there was a moment, I think it was like, again, like 20 minutes ago, like maybe 15 minutes into game 1, where ByuN landed like 6 consecutive EMPs, and he just didn't allow a single storm. It was insane how many EMPs were landing. It's crazy. And that was during a time where herO wasn't clumping his High Templar. Towards the later game he was. For now though, Stargate opener. Let's go. So herO does mix things up. He does go for the Stargate instead. A Stargate into Oracle to harass across the map, or we can even open up Phoenixes, back them up, and try to cash the first drop. Now again, Stargate openers are a little bit more common on these larger maps. Think of Winter Madness, think of Mothership, think of Celestial Enclave. That's where Stargate play is more viable. And when you open up Stargate like this, it does leave you vulnerable to 2 base all-ins, but there's a very low chance of ByuN all-ins on a map like this. As Reavers get 1 probe kill, they fail to get into the main base. Oracle production has begun. Now, thankfully, ByuN will have a Cyclone, but will it be in position? FC catch 1. 1 Reaper goes down. And FC commit across the map. Ideally, the FC distract the Cyclone. Ideally. Oh, but as he does move out, the Reaper moves in. And the Oracle is forced to reveal itself. Ay. Rough moment here for herO. And now ByuN knows. Now ByuN is aware of the Oracle. Cyclone's able to get away. Second Cyclone's in production. And again, this was meant to be a surprise factor, and it was meant to catch ByuN off guard. Won't be able to. Yeah, ByuN's in position. Behind this, we have a Twilight Council. Higher chances is going to be Twilight Council into Blink. We'll see if he goes into charge. Oh. Okay, we're making a Phoenix. Interesting. If herO commits into Phoenixes, then... Oh no, the Oracle! The Oracle gets caught out. So thankfully, do we have a scan? Do we have a scan? Does break the lock on. Scan is not quite available. We have the medevac though. Yeah, medevac moves in. Oracle goes down. Massive pick off. The Oracle killed 1 Reaper. That's all the value that herO got from the Oracle. Now there's a second Oracle moving in. True. Second Oracle does catch ByuN off guard, and ByuN, he commits anyway. Yeah, he doesn't care. He doesn't care. Remember, because of the Stargate, because of the Oracle, there's no blink, there's no charge, there's no upgrade for the Gateway Army. Shield battery's not yet done either. And ByuN's going for the kill. He's going for the kill, getting a lock on here on the adepts, getting both adepts. Both adepts go down. Boys are being pulled. herO, he may hold here, but he's going to lose a lot of workers. That's 6 probes going down. Oof. Another lock on here on the Stalker. Oh god, the Cyclones, they just keep punishing. They keep punishing. So now we're settling in. Now we're settling in. Do have Stim on the way, building up the ByuN army. Again, ByuN looking solid coming into the mid game. He does have a lead. And the pressure's on herO to try to recover. Like, he has to be active here. It's difficult to really find much damage just because there's no blink. Remember, there's no blink because of the Stargate opener. So herO's behind. The Stargate was not worth it. And ByuN's just chilling. Just chilling on 2 bases. Meanwhile, a big shout out to Agon Dunter. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for gifting a bunch of subs to the chat. Oh my god, 5 gifts of subs to the community. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hope you enjoyed the content, the casting, and the StarCraft. Gracias, papi, gracias. Do appreciate it. Saludos desde México. Saludos, papi, saludos. Gracias, gracias. No sé por qué no me deja subscribe. Oh, okay, I see. Agon saying that he doesn't know why, but he can't like regularly subscribe, but he can give subs. No sé por qué, papi. No sé por qué también. No sé, papi, no sé. Pero gracias. Thank you so much for the support. De México. Meanwhile, ByuN does sneak out with a couple of cyclones. herO now has blink. And he can slow this down. As here, he should not lose any stalkers here. Nice blink control. Third base is now on the way. herO is slowing this down. Catching up 2-3 Marines. There's the stim. herO does get away. And likewise, he deflects the medevac as well. Oof. Here he's locking in. He's looking in here, but you can see the supply disparity just because of the early game. Oh no, he runs in. Yeah, tank shot goes off, punishing the stalkers. Here he is in trouble. And this is all due to the early game. Again, here he lost a bunch of workers early on. He lost his stalkers, he lost his oracles. That is why there's such a supply disparity. And now ByuN's going for the kill. He's going for the throat. A storm is still not yet done. He needs more time. 10 seconds. There's 2 Templar. Okay, was getting powered. Storms are coming in. Okay, does have the storms. Mind shot going off, forcing friendly fire. Nice splits. Yeah, nice splits, nice spread. Stalkers are still going down. They get punished. There's 3 stalkers left and no more storms. And no storms available, and ByuN has done it. ByuN, he has done it. He has broken herO. Once again, herO struggling in the early game. And you know what? This reminds me a lot of Tunica. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series 2-0. GG. Actually, sorry, this doesn't remind me of Tunica. This reminds me of the Wardy TV Monday. If you were here, was it last night? Yes. If you were here last night, if you remember, we casted Cure. Cure, he took down Max Pax in the semis, and Cure, he had a best of 5 against herO. He had a best of 5 against herO. And in that best of 5, it is very similar to what we just saw, where herO, he was very aggressive in the early game. If you remember, herO, he went for like a proxy 2-gate, then he went for a Stargate opener, and he went even 2-gate opener back at home into Stargate, I should say. So herO was hyper aggressive, and he got punished, he got shut down, and herO had a really shaky early game, and he lost 2 games in a row, and he was down 2-0. And then herO started playing standard, and then herO won 3. He pulled off the reverse sweep, and then he 3-0'd Cure from there. So he was down 2-0, then he 3-0'd once he started playing standard. Here is very similar. It's similar in the sense that the early game was just really rough, both game 1 and game 2. Here in game 2 especially, herO took a chance. He took a risk, went for the Stargate opener. As you mentioned, it got scattered very early on. herO, he chose not to chase the Reaper. Remember, it all came, in my opinion, it came down to the Reaper. 2 Reapers, they hit the natural. herO had 3 Adepts. He killed 1 Reaper, and then he chose not to stay at home to defend against the second Reaper, but to counterattack. Which means ByuN got in, and ByuN scattered the Oracle ahead of time. So the Oracle got 0 damage. It was scattered well ahead of time. He got shut down, and from there, everything just snowballed out of control. We did mention that the big weakness when you go for a Stargate opener is your early game defense is weaker, and you're vulnerable to 2-base all-ins. And we were like, oh, ByuN's not going to go for a 2-base all-in. And he didn't, but after he shut down the Oracle, he's like, oh, I know you're vulnerable, let's just go. Let's just send it across the map, let's just commit. That was a reaction to the Stargate opener doing so little damage. And GG, well played. With that, ByuN does claim the series. A very impressive showing here by ByuN. Does bring him down, And with that, we have our winners match. It is going to be a TVP between ByuN and Trigger. Let's go. Let us go. So we're going to be getting that ready. For the time being, though, we're going to be cutting to a short break. We're getting up to the halfway mark here, and I guess we can actually quickly have a look at the bracket itself. So switching our scenes over. ByuN, he just took down herO 2-0 to advance on to the winners match. Meanwhile, Trigger likewise took down Scarlett 2-0 as well. So up next after the break, we're going to be having Trigger versus ByuN in the winners match, and Scarlett versus herO in the elimination match. Oh boy, we have 3 best of 3s remaining here. Up next is going to be another Turn versus Protoss, Trigger and ByuN. We'll see you soon after the break. See you soon, Pappy. See you soon. And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Hope you enjoyed that lovely brutal OST as we've returned. We've returned here with our next series, with our winners match here between ByuN and Trigger. Let's go. Trigger was able to take down Scarlett. ByuN took down herO. And now we have our two top players facing off in the winners match. The winner will advance on to the playoffs. The loser will be knocked down to the decider match to have another chance to make it through. Let's go. Game 1 is going to be on Winter Madness. Let us go. So as we are setting up. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Winter Madness, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss. Oh, the blue Protoss representing Basilisk. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have the South Korean Terran player, the red Terran representing Shopify. It is a ByuN. Here we go. We are going to be jumping in again. ByuN showcasing an incredible display of a TVP there, building up into a longer mid-game. But again, a lot of it came down to the early game aggression, to be able to shut down the aggression of herO, more importantly. Shut it down, mass expand, build up to 3, 4, 5 bases, and then embrace that late game setup. We'll see if ByuN can get there again. Meanwhile, we'll see how Trigger will adjust his approach. We shall see. As ByuN moves out with the initial SCV, and is setting up for what looks to be an eBay block. So cheeky move here by ByuN. We do bring this up all the time, but eBay blocks are even stronger on some of these maps like Winter Madness and like the Old Republic. SCV moves in, but Trigger's already in position. Oh, he's wise to this. eBay block is attempted. eBay block is denied. Oh my god, can he get it? Oh, barely can. Barely can, but the boy's already being pulled, and Trigger, he will shut this down real fast and real quick. So again, a clean response here by Trigger. Winding it back, the reason why these eBay blocks work better or are stronger here on maps like Winter Madness is because of the third base options. There's only one. There's only one third base option, so it's very common, and we actually saw this last night as well between Cure and herO. But if you can, sorry, between Cure and Max, I should say. But if you can get your eBay up and running here at the natural, then you can patrol your SCV at the triangular third location, and you can force the low ground expansion out of the Protoss player. This is possible on a map like Winter Madness, also possible on the Old Republic as well. Just because specifically on those two maps, there is not an ideal second option for an expansion. Second third base option, I should say. But here Trigger, he scouts ahead of time, he shuts it down, and Trigger does have a cleaner early game. So far so good. So far so good. Oh, as the scouting probe gets caught, nice catch. Ideally, the probe goes back in to confirm whether or not there's an expansion, checking on Trigger's vision. Trigger, he did not get into the main. He's not aware of the build. He's not aware of the build. We can see it's a racked expand, economic opener, a safer variation as ByuN does go for the high ground CC, but economic overall, and Trigger is unaware. Behind this, going for a stack of choice, going to be a Twilight Council opener out of Trigger. So just catching in the chat. Tactical Mindscape, got any insights on how to manage short-term tilt and long-term tilt for us ladder grinders? How do you think these pros handle tilt management? I think that's a really good thing to try to interview pro players about, just because, I mean, it's different for everyone, I would imagine, right? Like different players, different personality types have different ways of handling stress and dealing with that sort of thing. Like I know that I myself am a little bit more unique in how I handle that sort of thing as well, or how I don't handle it. Like like you got like the extremes, right? You got like Artosis, who like anything happens and he flips out, and and it's almost like he has like this pent up aggression and pent up rage inside him, and he uses StarCraft as like an outlet to express that and to, you know, alleviate all that pressure before he like goes crazy. Like but like you have an extreme like Artosis, or like for me, for example, like I guess the more you know about a game, like the more you can rationalize and understand a loss and like take that in and learn from that and grow from that. So you can take a loss and like kind of understand mistakes you made, what you can do better, what went wrong, what went right, and just approach it that way, instead of like, I don't know, there are some people that like handle anger and handle tilts in a worse manner, where like they blame their opponents, or they blame balance, or they blame like race, like it's And I feel like that is and that's like a really easy way to cope, right? Like that's a coping mechanism where the person that does that, they just want to deflect and push blame onto something else that isn't on them, right? So they're pushing blame onto balance, pushing blame onto their opponent, pushing blame onto whatever. That's a really easy way to like cope with anger, and that's why it's so common. But that's also why it's not very healthy, right? Like it's not. But there are like some people that do that. Yeah, I would say that it'd be nice to get like a good sample size of like different answers from different pros, just because I'm sure they approach things in different ways, right? And everyone's different. I know there are some pros that like there are some infamous examples of like Clem, for example, like smashing his desk and stuff like that. But like reasoning for that can be like, you know that you can do better, and you know that you can execute a build a little bit better, but like you know, in these high pressure situations, like sometimes like you're unable to, and that can be frustrating as well. It's just would be good to get a big sample size. For now, though, Trigger does poke in. So far, it's trading well. The bunker was delayed, so greedy move here by ByuN. Going to be delaying and skipping that bunker. It gets punished, bleeding out how many Marines? 9! 9 Marines go down. Heavy losses here for ByuN at the same time, going for his own mine drop. It does drop in. It does not get the shot off, though. Good reactions by Trigger. Oh my god. Trigger, he shuts down the mine drop. He punishes the Marines across the map, and he contains ByuN. So far, Trigger, he's had a relatively clean early game. Pent up rage of not having a... Artosis is married with kids. What are you talking about? What? Oh, no. What? For now, we aren't going to be backing up. From here, Trigger is taking up in towards Colossus. So Colossus are amassing, charge on the way. Never blame your ass on the other player's race. True. Unironically, it's quite common amongst, I feel like, the regular populace. I feel. Balance is what I'm referring to, of course. For now, ByuN, he's been building up. Behind this, going for a third CC. He's just building up. He's going to be expanding behind this, getting into his own mid-game. But again, Trigger, he has had a decent start, you know, gaining map control, shutting down the aggression. From here, Trigger should soon be expanding. I will say his fourth base is a little bit late. Oh, but there's a reason for that. Okay, we see why the fourth base is being delayed, because Trigger is pushing. He's committing here very hard. The Prism has arrived. He's not expanding. Why is he not expanding? 3 base all in. 3 base all in. We have how many gateways? We have 8 gateways behind this. It's going to be 3 base 8 gate all in. No gases here at the third base. Only 1 gas at the natural. We have more Zella Warpins, and the goal here is to break the third. Tanks are exposed. You can see ByuN is being dragged out into the open. Ay. Yeah, he gets dragged out. Tanks are exposed. They're going to go down one after the other. Trigger, he out positions. And without those tanks, ByuN, I'm not so sure he can hold on. Ooh, Zelta overextend. We need the Colossus. We need the Colossus. Get in there. Yeah, Colossus a little bit far back, but Zelta overwhelmed the ByuN army. Marines going down, Marauders going down, and Trigger, he's going for the kill. He can push into the natural. For now, distracted. For now, he's distracted. Raven harassed at the natural base. Drop in towards the third. Trigger, he does turn around. Turns around with some army, but keeps pushing in. And again, he has broken ByuN. Catching on the Marines, the Marauders, boys are being pulled, and Marauders flanking the Colossus. Very nice around. Yeah, does catch the Colossus. Despite that, though, heavy losses, and the Warpins, they continue. They just keep going in. And with that Trigger, he's able to just catch ByuN out. Again, a hyper-aggressive build, winding it back after the cleaner early game out of Trigger. He was able to execute a 3 base all-in, going for the 8 rank, sorry, the 8 gate, I should say. The other one. And ByuN, he was caught with the pants were down, Pappy. He was caught with his pants down. At the same time, we get 16 probe kills. I mean, the Raven harass, the drop play is nice, but that's going to be 32 SCVs going down for ByuN. The economy is crippled. Trigger catching out the Vikings. Takes down both. Yeah, both Vikings go down. Trigger did still has a Colossus, but did lose his War Prism. So Prism did go down. And ByuN, he is hanging on. He's holding on back at home. At least until reinforcements arrive. That's Trigger's bringing everything together. Thankfully, there's no War Prism this time, so reinforcements are going to be delayed for Trigger. But he's still just out trading. Yeah, he's still out trading. GG gets called, and Trigger takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. Trigger takes the lead in the series. Again, Trigger was able to shut down the early pushes, the early drop play, punish the Marines as well, punish ByuN for being greedy and skipping the bunker, even getting SCV damage across the map, and with that just snowballing out of control. Unfortunately, ByuN, he wasn't able to identify the all-in, otherwise he should not have been out there. Winding it back, if you recall, ByuN, he was distracted by the Zealots, and it was dragged out towards the right-hand side, exposing his tanks and exposing himself as well. But a big reason for that is that ByuN, he didn't identify the massive amount of gateways, lack of gases, lack of fourth base, or a couple of tells here and there, and ByuN was just unaware. ByuN was unaware. And GG, well played. And with that, we're going to be getting into game number 2. We're going to be loading into 10,000 feet. Let's go. Let us go. Spawning in the top left hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the Canadian Protoss player. We have the blue Protoss representing Basilisk, leading the series 1-0. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the bottom right hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the the red Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Oh, let's go. I'm a Zerg guy, but it's hard not to cheer for ByuN. I mean, yeah, there's I mean, I'm very much so in the camp of like I'm a Zerg player. I think I'm a fan of more Protosses and Terrans than Zerg players at the moment. Like, but like this, you know, there's just some good players out there, good personalities as well. Like ByuN is very charismatic, very wholesome. You know, his journey, of course, like how can you not get behind it? I would say very similar to player to ByuN is Oliveira. Like I feel like Oliveira is similarly because of the underdog story, like, and because he's very humble. I think that's another big aspect. Both ByuN and Oliveira are a little bit more humble at times. Definitely easy to like get behind them and cheer for them. Feels bad, man, for Oliveira. Feels bad, man. Este Oliveira. There we go. And also, of course, an amazing player. Like when it comes to the control, when it comes to the micro. But I think their personalities help with that as well. As this time ByuN comes in with the eBay block. This time successful. If you recall, ByuN attempted this in game 1, but Trigger did deny it. Here in game 2, we see ByuN forcing the unnatural natural. Okay. Now, when it comes to this position here, it's going to be more open, more exposed, and ByuN can go for a factory follow-up, but nah, it's going for the CC. Okay, so we have a standard economic follow-up here, but ByuN can turn this into a 2-base all-in and try to break down this expansion. Again, this base is much more exposed, it's much more vulnerable, much more open, and we'll see if it leads into 2-base aggression from ByuN to try to punish this. So now ByuN scouting left-hand side, checking for proxies. You know, if we're talking about fans of players, always patience fan. Always, papi, always. Este patience. One day. Speaking of 2-base aggression, yep, we do have it. As you can see here, we have not just one rank, so we have 1, 2, 3 ranks. This is going to be a very strong, a very hefty 2-base stim timing. Going to be a 2-base stim timing here, rushing into stim, rushing into combat shields. This will hit very hard, it'll hit very strong, and it's on Trigger to scout this, to react, and to respond. It's going to be a difficult defense for Trigger, but not impossible, if he can scout. Stim is already on the way. So ByuN, he's massing up his Marines as we speak, building up his bio. He will be committing, bearing in mind this will hit pre-medevacs, so there's no medevacs. It does mean that when he does push out, every stim does count. It's going to be killing him, so he has to hold on and preserve those stims. That's also why it's important for Trigger to engage ahead of time to try to force early stims. As Trigger does go for 2 more gateways, going into 3-gate blink. A relatively safe start. We'll see if he goes for a robo as well. As Trigger, he doesn't see much. He only sees Mass Marine. For all Trigger knows, this could be a 2-on-1. Right? This could be a 2-on-1 variation, which are a little bit rare in TVP, but not unheard of. As up to shade in. Does run into more Marines. Trigger doesn't quite get confirmation though. And here comes ByuN. ByuN is built up to 13 Marines so far. We have a couple of Marauders on the way. Trigger is getting a safety robo. So he has the production set up. 3 gateways in a robo. Blink will finish up as well. But can Trigger pull this off? As here comes ByuN. So far he's moving out unscouted. True. Oh, Trigger, he's expanding. He does have a safety battery. No, he blinks in! Oh god, he just blinked forward. He does spot the army. Thankfully, he wasn't punished. Trigger, he was not punished. There's first stim. Trigger blinks away. Blinks away, baited the stim out. No damage though, doesn't kill a single unit. And ByuN backs off. Yeah, ByuN, he backs off. He wasted the first stim. He's trying to lure the army out into the open. He can maybe stim on top of the ramp. But he pulls away. He pulls away, and this big stim timing falls on its face. Behind this, going for the factory, eventually into starport, eventually into medevacs. But Trigger, he survived the timing. And Trigger gets away with his third. Okay. He gets away with it. Oh. Yeah, catching out 3 stalkers. Ooh, as Trigger gets punished, brutal blink, losing 1, 2, 3, 4, oh, losing every single stalker, and now it's go time. Now it's go time. Trigger, he does overextend. Massive blunder here for Trigger, getting caught out, and ByuN can just pull the trigger. He can send everything across the map. His army's still very battered and bruised from all the stimming he's been doing, that is true. But he has a lot of damage output back at him. What is it to defend? Again, Trigger, he lost 8 stalkers. There's only 4 left. Again, that was the majority of his army. Losing almost another. ByuN stims in. Again, he's a little bit overstimmed. Can he break through? Charge is not yet done. 4 seconds away. Tries to get on top of the Immortal. Immortal goes down. Nice pickoff, but the Marines are overstimmed. And Trigger does barely hold on. Yeah, just Jesus. ByuN stims away. The army deep in the red. Trigger, I'm sure, tempted to chase, but doesn't quite commit. Yeah, it doesn't quite commit in the end. And again, it's been a very chaotic game here. Do you see what I say? Okay, third CC. Third CC is now finishing, so ByuN is expanding. Trigger claiming a 4th base as ByuN gets a 3rd. A well-timed 4th base for Trigger. And after a very intense early game, we're getting into the mid game. Who do we favor here? It's still very difficult. Like, losing all those stalkers was brutal. It means that Trigger has less map control. It means that Trigger can't really threaten the bases or threaten any kind of counterattack. At least not right now, not with a low stalker count. So ByuN is free. ByuN is free to expand, gain control of the map, and be active. ByuN does try to commit in. Trading with the army. So far they're holding their own. They're holding their own. Nice swipes with the Colossus. Marauders, they try to stim in. They try to stim forward. Trigger barely keeping up. He needs more zealots though. Does need more charge lots. But again, ByuN still maintains map control. Trigger still trying to recover. And it'll be some time. Trigger still has to refine his army, get into more splash damage, Storm or second Robo into disruptors. We have the answer. It's going to be Storm. Storm is on the way. But this map, it's so difficult to try to slow the game down. This map is just so small. It takes so little time to get across the map. ByuN has momentum. Going for the second starport, going to Mass Vikings. That's going to be his answer for the Colossus. Building up his Viking count. 4th CC is on the way. We mentioned in the previous series just the strengths of this map, and expanding and building up on 4 bases is quite easy here on 10,000 feet. I don't see Trigger stopping ByuN. And we mentioned something during ByuN series versus herO, but typically the Protoss player wants to be denying the 4th and denying the 5th base. I don't see that happening here on 10,000 feet though. Like ByuN, I can see him expanding quite freely. ByuN zones away. Zones back the army. Again, both players are building up. We're soon to max out. ByuN building up into Viking Ghost. Trigger building up into Colossus Storm. Traditionally, the Protoss player should be having more bases so they can afford to be a little bit more wasteful with their zealots and rebuild and replenish them. But Trigger isn't there yet. He's not there. Doesn't have the greater economy. So we have to favor ByuN. Oh, EMP goes off. Nice EMP. First Colossus goes down as well, and ByuN, he will dominate this fight. Catching a Colossus, catching a High Templar. ByuN is maxed. ByuN rotates over towards the 4th base. Again, we need these storms to connect. There's 6 High Templar. First EMP lands. Oh, that's a double storm. Heavy storm counts. Another EMP on the High Templar. And there's still 2 storms left. Oh, lands 1. Yeah, 1 storm zones, 1 more storm coming in. EMPs land. Oh god, that was the final storm. Do we have an energy overcharge? Oh god. Yeah, ByuN has done it. ByuN, he's done it. He's breaking through. No storms remaining, no Colossus either. He sims in. Breaks through the Immortals. There's only a Gateway army left, and they cannot hold their own. Not like this. Not against the ByuN army. Boys are being pulled. Trigger getting desperate. But GG gets called. Trigger is broken, and ByuN ties up the series 1-1. Whew. GG. GG, well played. Again, Trigger, after the early game aggression, it was a very chaotic back and forth. But again, Trigger, he didn't have map control. He didn't have the bases, didn't have the economy. Could not keep up with the quality of the army of ByuN. GG. GG, well played. ByuN did snowball from there. I was a little bit concerned that ByuN had maybe overextended when it came to his ByuN army, but no, it's fine. He was still trading well for himself and still was able to maintain that lead. GG. GG, well played. With that, we are getting into game number 3. Going to be loading into the ace match. Let's go. It all ends here. It all ends on White Rabbit. And spawning in the top right hand corner of White Rabbits, we have the blue Protoss player, himself. We have the Canadian Protoss representing Basilisk, being forced into the ace match. It is a Trigger. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the red Terran player. We have the South Korean Terran for Shopify. It is ByuN. Let's go. Let us go. So we find ourselves here in the ace match. Coming into game 3, we'll see who's going to be the aggressor. I mean, now we're loading into a much larger map. So like at least as a bit of a generalization, we do favor Terran on smaller maps. As you just saw in the last game, Trigger, he had no room to breathe. He could not mass expand. He could not gain map control. He couldn't buy time to build up a greater economy. It's difficult to do that on 10,000 feet. Meanwhile, on White Rabbit, a much larger map in the map pool, longer rush distance by ground, more space, more open areas here, just more room to work with. Typically, it is easier for the Protoss player to gain map control and mass expand. Typically, generally. So the pressure is going to be on ByuN to be more aggressive early on. To be more aggressive, to be more active. For the first time this series, there is no eBay block. Instead, there's a pro block, and the Trigger does delay. It delays the expansion for a couple of seconds, forcing some inefficiencies out of ByuN before pulling out. As ByuN is going for a more economic build, going for a Rax expand. So economic open out of ByuN. This can still lead into 2-base aggression. I would still say that 2-base all-ins are not as favorable here on White Rabbits. They can work, especially if unscouted. They can catch players off guard. But otherwise, we expect a longer game. ByuN did a good job luring and killing Stalkers. Yes, that was the moment where ByuN kind of gained control of the map and gained control of the game. We mentioned at the time that as soon as it was 8 Stalkers, if you remember. It was 8 Stalkers getting caught out. As soon as that happened, Trigger was stuck at home, right? And he couldn't apply pressure. He couldn't delay the 3rd base or delay the 4th base or keep ByuN contained or even chip away at the army. True, that was like a big moment when everything kind of swung in favor for ByuN. It allowed for a very comfortable mid-game. For now though, Twilight Council opener at a Trigger. Most likely headed towards Blink. We'll keep an eye on the gateways. Again, on White Rabbit, there's a very high chance that Trigger is able to get a faster 3rd base. And goes for a greedier build. Stalkers, they poke in. Nothing to kill. As the Hellion does get behind the middle line and does confirm the Twilight Council. Does confirm the council. Ooh, Trigger miscontrols, losing a Stalker. That should not have happened. Yeah, Trigger, he was inattentive. He was focusing on the Hellion. And ByuN was able to capitalize on that inattentiveness. On that distraction. Trigger, yep, he's going for the faster 3rd. I believe 2-gate. Yep, 2-gate blink. 2-gate blink into a 3rd, into a follow-up robo. So a very greedy economic build. Oh, and losing another Stalker. Oh my god. Another Stalker goes down. Massive losses early on here. It doesn't sound like a lot, but Trigger, he just lost 2 Stalkers. He only has 3 left. Like this early on, you don't have much of an army. Every unit counts. ByuN getting across the map. Gotta be zoned away. Gotta be zoned back. Regardless, nice little wins here for ByuN. Getting to zone 1-1 on follow-up. Early Raven for Raven harass. There's no Banshee play. There's no Widowmine drop. ByuN does scout the timing of the 3rd base. He knows. He now knows it was a greedier build. And that can prompt a move out. We'll see. But now the Raven moves out. Tanks are amassing. ByuN going to be checking gases, checking saturation. The Raven is moving in. And for now, the game is slowing down. The game is slowing down. Trigger building up towards Colossus. The bait is on the way. Observer does spot the move outs. Trigger, he knows. Stalkers, they move in position. Oh, ByuN spots. Nice got them. Oh no! Yeah, ByuN does catch the Observer. Cyclone gets caught as well. So we have a bit of a back and forth. And we have that back and forth. Auto turret into the main. Catching out 3 probes. Raven even survives. Not bad. And we are just macroing up out of this. Okay, so ByuN, he's not committing on 2 bases. 3rd CC is on the way. Risky maneuver here by ByuN, but remember, he knows he killed the Observer. The Observer got sniped, so ByuN moves out undetected. Otherwise, typically, Trigger would see this because of the Observer and would punish it. Medevac is looking for a way across. ByuN does unload. There are some Zealots at the 3rd base, thankfully, so Trigger, he has an army in position. He shouldn't really take many losses. And Marines, they stem in. Plenty of Zealots, and does force a pickup. Despite that, that's still going to be 3 probe kills to the Raven. The Raven is still alive. Trigger, he's trying to hunt down that drop. And ByuN can soon expand. And so now we're just posturing. We're just posturing, poking, prodding. Building up into the mid game. ByuN's being active. As he moves out, he can expand and claim his 3rd. Oh no! Ooh, as the Medevac gets caught out. Massive pickoff. That's going to be a full Medevac going down. A nice catch from Trigger. It is a nice catch, but at the same time, Trigger, he does not spot the push. He doesn't see the army. He doesn't see ByuN coming. ByuN catching a Stalker. Gets 1. Gets 2. 2 Stalkers go down. At the same time, Prism into the main base. We're going to get rowdy. Ooh, massive tank shots. Tank volleys on the Stalkers. Mine shots going off on the Zealots. In the end, Trigger, he will force this back. At the same time, drop into the main base is going to be shut down, killing the Warp Prism. And ByuN defends. He defends back at home. He pulls back with his main army. ByuN did lose his tanks, but he does preserve his ByuN. Does preserve the Marines and Marauders. Behind this, did claim his 3rd base. It's going to be on Trigger to apply pressure. Without that Warp Prism, there's nothing to distract. And can Trigger deny the 3rd? I mean, ByuN did just lose 2 tanks. True. Now he has a weaker position. Trigger going for the middle line. Oh. That's a lot of Marauders. Oh my god. Yeah, a couple of Vikings in the mix as well. God, he's holding on. But again, you can already see the difference between this game and the last, where Trigger has map control. Straight up. He has map control. He's got his 4th base. You can get a 5th base behind this as well. ByuN is stuck at home defending. Now we have a 3rd Colossus rallying in. With 3 Colossus, I mean, Trigger, he can threaten those Marauders. He can threaten. The Zealots are coming from behind. Colossus, they swipe away at the army. The boys are being pulled. ByuN getting desperate. Ooh, we're losing too much. Yeah, losing so many SCVs here. Critical damage. Nice juggling. Juggles well, but Trigger has to get out of here. He has to get out. Geo saved his welcome. And Trigger, he may lose everything. We have Zealots coming in from behind. The Colossus, they barely pull away. The juggling. Oh my god. He's crazy. Saves the Colossus. GG gets called, doesn't lose a single one, and Trigger, he breaks the 3rd, and Trigger will claim the series 2-1. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Very impressive play there by Trigger. Again, Trigger, who was able to regain map control, push out across the map, capitalizing on ByuN losing those tanks. As we mentioned, if ByuN didn't push earlier, if he had stayed back at home with his tanks and with his army, it would have been a much stronger defense there, and most likely the game would have continued in towards a longer game. But instead, Trigger, he committed here on towards that third base, committing with more Zealots with his 3 Colossus, and again, very impressive control, keeping them all alive. Despite the fact that ByuN had a heavy Marauder army, the juggling there with the micro with the Colossus didn't lose a single one. GG, well played. Trigger, he does claim the series, and with that, Trigger, he will advance on to the playoffs. ByuN is knocked down. He's knocked down to the lower brackets, to the decider match instead. GG, well played. And with that, we are here to determine who will join ByuN in the decider match. Up next is going to be the elimination match. Here we go, a best of 3 between herO and Scarlett. And Scarlett went down to Trigger earlier, herO went down to ByuN, and now it's time for redemption. One of these 2 players will advance on to play against ByuN, the other will be knocked out of LiuLi Cup. Let's go. Here we go. As we're going to be loading into the Old Republic, again, ByuN will be waiting for the winner of the series, Laminos. As spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of the Old Republic, we have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify Rebellion. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the South Korean Protoss player, the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. And as we get into our fresh series here, a big shout out to Cian. Obrigado. Fala galera. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the raid. Hope you had a great stream. Hope you had a great cast, I'm assuming. For those who are unaware, Cian, he is a Brazilian caster and at times does other content on his stream, of course, but does a lot of casting in Brazilian, in Portuguese. So thank you. Thank you so much for the raid. Obrigado. Gracias. Do appreciate it. Oh. As herO does block the expansion and will for... Oh, never mind. herO is checking for the hatchery, by the way, and herO, he sees nothing. He's like, hold up, what's going on? Something is wrong. Something doesn't quite make sense. Scarlett moves out for a hatch block. So it is going to be hatchery into hatchery. Drone moves in. herO is in position, and can herO deny the block? Oh, yeah, it does move in. Drone is attempting to throw down that hatchery. And is going to be denied. Oh my god, gets it though. Okay, just barely gets a hatchery down. Does get within range of the expansion and blocks the Nexus. Does block the Nexus here. And we'll see how herO does respond. herO does have 3 boys being pulled. Zelda's being chronoed as we speak. Thankfully, no major reaction. Ideally, Scarlett wanted herO to overreact and pull like 6 to 7 probes. That is a more inefficient response and it does do damage. Here we can see that herO has full 1 base saturation for the most part, and the Zealot has arrived. This will be cancelled. And remember, this was a greedy, or sorry, I say greedy. This was a macro build. Remember, this was a hatchery into gas pool. Like, it wasn't an early pool, it wasn't an early gas geyser. Meanwhile, Scarlett does kill the probe. Nice round. But there's no aggression coming out from Scarlett, and hopefully we cancel in time. Jesus. Calm down. Does cancel. Now, this is a scary thing about going for something like a proxy hatchery, like a hatch block, is that you are prompting a counterattack. herO, he has not just 1, he has 2 Zealots and 1 Adept that's going to be rallying across the map. Now, usually there are 2 Adepts, usually there's a 2-gate response and a 2nd gateway already, so herO is going for a bit of a greedier response, skipping one of the gateways, also allowing for a hole to be opened here, and Scarlett's making a little links. But again, Scarlett has to make all these Zerglings because of the Zealots, right? If it weren't for these Zealots, then Scarlett could freely drone. Could freely saturate, but that is not the case here. herO getting into the mineral line. Reducing surface area, at least trying to. Yeah, it does wedge himself in between the patches. And Zealots trade well. They trade very well here. All the Lings go down. At the same time, Adept shades into the main base. Oh, doesn't focus on the drones. Scarlett does defend. Scarlett defends, and with that, that was how many? That was 10 Lings going down. That could have been 5 drones, right? There could have been 5 workers. So we have that back and forth. Here catching another Zergling. There are 0 Zerglings left. And here checking for a third base. There is no third. Scarlett is stuck on 2 bases. As back at home, here is probing up. Stargate is the tech of choice, getting into oracles. Turret-ups can one-shot drones. And here it does threaten a dive. Here just threaten, shades into the main, going for the mineral line, and drones. That's Scarlett. Nice reaction. Does wall off with the Evo chamber. Does wall off, doesn't lose any drones, but mining is still delayed. Mining is denied. Ooh, here is no, Shades International, no spore in position. 6 drones going down, trades against the Zerglings. Ay. This should not have happened. But again, there was no spore, no queens. Oh, herO is inattentive though to leave the Oracle idle. Okay, it's a bit of a trade. 9 drone kills, but herO did lose the Oracle. herO's still ahead. Yeah, herO is still quite far ahead here. Again, Scarlett's third base was late. If we had a faster third, then maybe, but Scarlett is far behind in the economy. And Scarlett has to make a decision. 2 base all in, or try to macro. The problem with making the decision to go for an all-in is that there's no tech to work with. Like, because of all the earlier losses, there's no Roach Warren, there's no Baliness, there's no Lair to work with. The decisions, the choices are very limited here for Scarlett. Scarlett has a lot of droning to do. Even to get into a 2-base all-in. Scarlett is going for the Roach Horn. That's going to be at almost 6 minutes. But again, all the timings are off. 20 Zerglings are on the way. It looks like we have the answer to our question. Whether Scarlett was going to try to drone a macro or go for an all-in. That's a big commitment. And these Lings, they have to get damage done. Again, that could have been extra drones. So here comes a Ling Flood. Zerglings are moving out, back across the map. There's one Adept here at the natural. We have Stalkers in position here at the third. Lings, they do move, they do get a probe. Move in. But no major damage. I mean, hey, there's always the hope that the wall is open. True, there's it is herO. There's always the hope. The dream. 18 more Lings are on the way. Oh, collapsing on the Stalkers. Unable to punish though. Scarlett bleeding out more Zerglings, and herO's pushing. This is a really early push out of herO. It's very ByuN-esque. What I mean by that is that herO's pushing pre-blink. This is very risky. Very, very risky. herO is vulnerable to surround, as herO cannot blink away. So he moves out, catching out more Zerglings. Oof. And Scarlett is struggling. The Oracle's a hit of support, so Blink is done in 3 seconds. Oh, Stasis goes off, catching out a decent chunk of Lings. Chunk of Zerglings. Scarlett baiting out more Stasis traps, not bad. 32 more Lings in production. And can Scarlett save the 4th? Oh, does collapse in. And it gets us around. Oh my god, the Stasis trap. Oh god. Catching out the majority of the Lings. And now herO can move in. herO can move in. This base will fall. I think Scarlett assumed, I assumed as well, that there were no more Stasis traps. But the traps, they continue. And that spin control, station trap is about to run out. herO has to respect it. herO gets surrounded. Okay. herO is going to be surrounded here. And do we recall? Oh, tries to blink away. Trading with the Zerglings. More Zealots have arrived. And here he can stand and fight. Yeah, at this point, does blink back. Here he can just keep pushing, keep trading. herO still has momentum, now with Zealots, now with Archons as well. A much more refined army for herO behind this, getting another expansion, taking another base, still ahead economically. herO did bleed out 6 Stalkers, but it still has been worth it. Oh, it's been worth it. Because now herO has 3 Archons, 11 Zealots, catching up the Roaches. Scarlett setting up for, just going for a counterattack. herO can always recall if need be. Instead, hero's just going for the kill. Going for the throats. Roaches are exposed. Lings, they turn back around. They will surround one of the Archons. Not bad. Yeah, try to surround the Archon. Does pick off one. But that's it. Just one Archon goes down. herO can just keep rallying, keep pushing forward. GG gets called, and herO takes game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played again. Critical economic damage was dealt earlier on. Winding it back, we saw that Scarlett went for the hatch block. That did prompt herO to be more aggressive early on, pumping out 2 Zealots and an Adept. And herO got so much damage early on, not just with the Zealot Adept, but with the follow-up Adepts and with the follow-up Oracle. There was a time in this game where Scarlett went down to 27 drones against 41 probes of herO. herO had a massive lead, was looking very comfortable. That's why we made the comment that Scarlett had to make the decision. Either go for a 2-base all-in or try to macro out of it. And Scarlett, it was a little bit of both worlds there, where Scarlett did commit into a massive Link Flood, but the Link Flood didn't achieve any damage, so Scarlett fell further behind. It tried to get a 4th and 5th base, tried to join up a little bit, but just, yeah, very chaotic early and mid game there. GG. GG, well played. With that, herO takes the lead in the series, and now we're going to be loading into game number 2. Let's go. Be loading into game 2, going to be loading into Tourmaline. And we'll see if Scarlett can fight back and force the ace match. We'll see if herO can close it out. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Tourmaline, we have the Canadian Zerg player. We have the blue Zerg representing Shopify. It is Scarlett. And spawning in the bottom left hand corner, we have her opponent. We have the red Protoss player. We have the South Korean Protoss for T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. Here we go. Scarlett is going to be opening up a hatch first. This time there's no block. This time there's no joiner across the map. There's no early game shenanigans. Not this time. herO moves in. herO moves in. It does try to disrupt some of the mining here, being as annoying as possible. Ah. And from here we're taking up. Welcome to Tourmaline. Tourmaline is a very small map of the map pool. Small map, short rushes to spike rounds. Aggression is favored here on Tourmaline, and in my mind there's a high chance that Scarlett does go for a big all-in. 2 base all-ins, 3 base all-ins are very commonplace here on Tourmaline, and we'll see if Scarlett commits into one of them. Again, when it comes to Tourmaline, it isn't just about the size of the map, but also the entrance here in between the bases, the entrance into the natural, the entrance into the 3rd base. Very open, very exposed, very vulnerable locations. Does make it difficult to be the defending player. Not impossible, just more difficult. So we'll see. We shall see. Scarlett does open up standard. Going to link speed, just hatch gas pool, pulls out of gas. Meanwhile, herO opening up Stargate. Everything's looking as it should. herO has a choice to make. Can open up Oracle, can open up Void Ray, can hide tech, focus on scouting instead. Focusing on economic damage. Based on the rally, it looks like an Oracle. As herO attempts to block the third base. And we have the center third instead. Okay, that's why the drone wasn't in position. Now, I mentioned earlier that, you know, all-ins and aggression is favored here. This forward third kind of telegraphs that. Like, you would not expand this far forward unless you do, typically, unless you plan on making use of the creep, right? You're spreading creep very quickly. You're also reinforcing faster across the map with the closer expansion to your opponent. So this will benefit an all-in if Scarlett goes for one. If you recall, we saw something similar between Shin and herO. They played recently, and Shin also went for this forward base as a natural, and herO went for a hyper defensive response, and Shin went for an all-in. He went for an all-in into the defensive build of herO, and herO just shut it down. It was on this very map. As herO does take his third base is on time. Oracles are being active. We see Scarlett going for the early Evo chamber that does signal +1 melee. So +1 melee out of Scarlett's going into a more Ling Hydra heavy composition. Looking normal, looking like a regular build. Meanwhile, that is an early Twilight Council, okay? So herO is going for the earlier Twilight Council. Now, this could be one of two things. This could be aggressive, and it could be early Glaives, or this could be very safe and very defensive and go into early Blink. If Scarlett was going for like a German Taxi or a Roach-based all-in, or just an early game aggression like that, committed play, then early Blink would be ideal to shut it down. Otherwise, Glaives would be to turn the tables. herO did not see the Evo chamber. As drones are being transferred. What's it going to be? What are we going for? Council is done. We have the money for it. Lings, they do distract. Oh, so the upgrade is going to be delayed. It's going to be a little bit delayed here. And it's going to be early Blink. Okay, so early Blink, a very safe... I mean, I say safe. This is going to be a double-edged sword. Oh! This looks like Rex, he was having some issues. Feels Rex, man. Not for the first time this broadcast. We have a gateway explosion. So I mentioned earlier, if there was an all-in coming, Blink would be done in time to defend. We have extra gateways being thrown down. That's a lot of gateways, actually. We have how many? We have 6 gateways at the natural. We have 1 in the main. It's looking like a 3-base 8-gate all-in. It's been a while, but you can proxy. Here he can proxy his 8th or 9th gateway, but this is hyper aggressive. Basically, here he's not getting gases at the 3rd base. He's not taking up. Here is doubling down. He's doubling down. He's committing. Revelation spot saturation. And I'm waiting for a probe move out. As here come all the warp-ins. I mean, here he might not need to just because the map is so small. But again, here he can warp into 8 stalkers at a time. Oh. Yeah, as again, looks like Scarlett was... Sorry, it looks like Rex was having some latency issues. Feels bad, man. Este Rex. So here's committing. Throwing down the stasis traps. Lings, they try to collapse in. First stasis goes off. Second stasis as well. This is also creating SimCity. It's creating a choke point, making it more difficult for Lings to engage. Queens are being focused down. Oh, third stasis gets baited though. There's another. Yeah, we have more stasis traps. No, Lings, they get dragged in. Massive stasis goes off. We're getting deja vu. We saw this last game as well. Where herO had 1 hidden stasis trap. A massive connection. Behind this, 2 more gateways. Building up to, I think that's 10? 9. Building up to 9 gates. Shaving off more Zerglings so far here. He has lost 0 Stalkers. Oh, God. He's lost nothing, man. That's crazy. Again, just pure efficiency, pure value. Scarlett supply blocks and a nice link counterattack. Does distract, forcing herO back home. Okay. And the Sling Runaway doesn't really do much damage, but it does buy time. Right? It does buy time. As hero's now pushing, this time with charged out reinforcements. At least he can warp in Zealots behind this if need be. So just speaking more Zerglings. Hydras have a mass with the greater Hydra count. Now Stalkers can finally go down. There we go. 1 Stalker gets sniped. Gets 2. 2, 3 Stalkers go down. Finally getting damage done. 4 Stalkers even. And where are those Zealots? Where are the Zealots? Where are the Warpins? Here bleeding out a lot of Stalkers. Even bleeding forward? Crazy. Here gets punished. Yeah, here he gets punished. Crazy blink forward there. Even again, calm down, hero. Jesus. Oh my god. We're running away from the army and he blinks further in. Crazy, pappy, crazy. With that was 10 Stalkers. 10 Stalkers going down, so nice trades out of Scarlett. Behind the Scarlett, joining up to 4 base saturation, building up and dealing Hydra. As the Hydra count builds up, Scarlett's having a stronger mid-game here. Meanwhile, herO, where's the follow-up? We were waiting for charge, for Storm, for the Archons. Now they're warping in, but after the engagement, after the fight. Also, very quickly here, Storm is a non-factor. Just checked, Storm has not been researched, so no Storm. Just Stalkers, Zealots, and Archons, which can still trade well. Can still trade well against a Ling and Bane heavy composition. Bailing speed just now began. And the Lings, they have a hard time engaging here into a more Archon heavy style. We got 3 Archons, we got more Zealot reinforcements, more Archons behind this as well. As that's a 4th Archon morphing in. Scarlett does go for the counterattack. Back at home, there is a wall. herO does wall off in time. More Lings towards the 3rd base. herO needs a defensive warp in though. Yeah, no defensive warp in. He recalls back home instead. As herO will supply blocked and maxed out. Okay. And hero's taking up with the Sky Toss. Hero's taking up. Scarlett does engage. I'm not so certain that Scarlett can push in. Yeah, Bailey's they try to roll forward. Running into mainly Archons. The Archons, they hold their ground. That's 1 Archon falling. Gets 2. Gets 2 Archons. Now there's no more Ling Bane. Yeah, no more Ling Bane. The Hydra, they have to get the hell out of here. Has to pull away. And Scarlett is vulnerable. We need more Zealot reinforcements. As Stalkers, they can just trade head on. As Hydras are going down. Expensive losses here for Scarlett. Oh no! Losing a bunch of Hydras. Not like this. So here, let's pick up a couple of Bailings. At this point now we have reached almost critical mass of Hydra. herO has to respect it. Has to pull away. Once again blinks forward like this. So risky. I was curious. I was like, where were the Zealots? They're going for the counterattack. Zealots, they move out for a counterattack. 7 drones going down. herO getting a lot of value. Pushing deep on creep. Yeah, risky moves out of herO. Has to calm down. The other risky move here is still no Storm, by the way. Still no Storm. Going right into Tempest instead. Straight into Tempest. Catching out Queens. Nice pickups. 1 Archon goes down. herO has to pull away. There's not many Lings. Yeah, not many Zerglings here, so the Archons, they sort of end up trading well. Picking up most of the Zerglings. herO does pull out. At the same time, Zealots, they did try to wreak havoc here, but Scarlett does defend. And it's still a very slow transition into Sky Toss. Sure, we have a Tempest on the way. Tempest are in production, but only making one at a time. Only one Tempest at a time. Does take a while to really get going. hero's taking more bases, double expanding even. Not something you see too often in PvZ. Okay. Oh, the mothership does move in. Massive recall. Recalled into the bases. Cloak on the Archons as well. Overall, better trades here out of herO. Catching up more Hydras. Oof. So herO does back off. Maxwell pulls away. 7 drones go down. herO going for another Zealot run by. Top left. Catching out Hydras. And just trading against the Zerglings. Does get a surround going. This time Scarlett's ready. Scarlett's in position. We'll still lose the expansion. And Scarlett is down in bases. Down in bases, down in economy. Typically the Zerg player wants to be up when it comes to the economy here of the Protoss to make up for their more inefficient army. That's not happening though. That's not happening. Scarlett is hurting. Does end up catching the army though, forcing a defensive recall. Okay. Oh, which means here he wants those Hydras. Here he wants the Hydras, Pappy. He's going for it. It does give chase. Scarlett pulls away in time. Yeah, pulls back in time. I'm still shocked that there's like Storm would have such a good time here against the main Hydra. Or even Colossus as well. Any kind of splash damage. Hydras, they step forward. They catch out the mothership. And mothership goes down. Hydras, they can hold their own. A messy trade here for herO. Very messy. We're getting messy. Jesus, Zealot's popping up. Knocking down more expansion. Scarlett down to 4 bases. Scarlett doesn't have much of an economy. And cannot afford to lose the expansion. No, this is the most important mining base for Scarlett. 10 drones go down and the expansion. Recalls on cooldown. And here it just takes the trade. It just takes the trade. Picking up some key units here. More Lings, more Hydras. And this is Scarlett's last stand. Trying to hold on. GG gets caught. Scarlett is broken, and herO will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the decider match. GG. GG, well played. A very chaotic game is what I will say. Very, very chaotic. A lot of aggression out of herO, non-stop aggression, opening up initially 8-gate blink, moving out across the map. Scarlett did hold, did defend, but herO was trading so well, so efficiently, and more importantly, was able to knock down expansions. Non-stop run-bys, counterattacks with the mothership, with the Zealots, with the Stalkers as well. Scarlett had no economy. It was broke towards the end, could not sustain herself, could not sustain the army, not against herO's non-stop aggression. I was definitely criticizing herO for not getting to any splash damage, but the upside was that herO was barely giving any room to breathe to Scarlett. Like herO was non-stop in Scarlett's face, pushing into bases, pushing into the main army, pushing onto creep as well. Non-stop aggression. It was a very messy game out of herO, but in the end did overwhelm. GG. GG, well played. As herO does claim the series, 2-0, and with that we have our final matchup of the night. It is going to be a best of three rematch between herO and ByuN. No boy. As of course, Trigger was the first player to make it through into the main event. Trigger was the first, and will be joined by either a Terran or a Protoss. One or the other. Let's go. Let us go. As we're going to be loading into our next game, we're going to be getting to our fresh series, into the rematch. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Terran player. We have the blue Terran representing Shopify. It is ByuN. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner here of 10,000 feet, we have the South Korean Protoss player. We have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. And again, shout out to Scarlett for competing in the event itself. As I mentioned before, Scarlett, it has been a little more inactive over the past like 2 years or a year and a half, really. Around 2 years, so it has been very inactive. So it's been great to see Scarlett return to the game and return to competitive play, especially in recent months. Did mention that Scarlett was playing in a lot of tournaments at the end of last year, getting into Stellar Fest, getting into the Thunderfire show match as well, or the Thunderfire Invitational. So it was great to see. It goes down to herO, but there's no shame, right? Like, herO is literally the best Protoss player in the world. herO, he won RSL, he won OSC, he won Rungi Cup, he won Thunderfire. This is all in the past like 2 months, so there's no shame. And now we're getting into our fresh series, our fresh best of 3. Loading into this here, ByuN is going for an economic start, going for a Rax expand. Meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on herO as he does confirm this with the probe. Here we go. Now, ByuN, who was able to bring down herO earlier in the broadcast. True, did bring him down earlier. A lot of it came down to some shaky early game out of herO. We saw herO go for Stargate openers and try to be a little bit more aggressive early on as well. He was punished time and time again. So I feel like for herO, we just got to calm down. We just got to calm down and play standard. Just do what you do. herO, he didn't quite... I mean, he saw the Eastern Core Gas, so he knows it's a Rax expand. He knows it's an economic start. And I like this out of ByuN. ByuN is going to try to punish herO by going for the Marauder. So Concussive Shell into Marauder. Basically, what's happening here is a couple of mind games. Some metagaming, essentially. So herO, he saw the economic opener. He knows that there's a CC. He knows it's a greedier build. And typically, the Protoss player should be punishing, right? The Protoss player should be punishing by moving out with the early Adept, by moving out with the early Stalker to try to disrupt the economy of ByuN. Probe Scout is denied. Meanwhile, ByuN is hoping for that. He wants aggression. He wants the Stalker. He wants the Adept to show up so he can punish it with Marauders. So this is meant to punish the punishing force of the Protoss. That's the goal here. The follow-up is going to be 3 racks. So Marauder opener into a 2nd and 3rd racks. It is not uncommon for ByuN to go and turn this into a 3cc 3 racks or 3 racks follow-up. Both are viable options and both are common for ByuN. So herO, even after he realizes there are Marauders, he won't exactly know what the follow-up is. Adept is moving forward. Nice catch here. ByuN does catch the Adept. And the Adept, does he get away? Oh, it's going to be close. Oh my god, barely does. Barely shades away. Does get out of there. Whew. Clutch save there by herO. Pulls back with the Adept. ByuN is moving in. herO's getting his battery. Yeah, shield battery's on the way. Stalker's in position as well. ByuN pulls back. But remember, because of this initial opener out of ByuN, he zones away the Adept, he zones away herO, and again, ByuN is going for that follow-up stim timing. It's going to be a very strong timing here from ByuN. Stim and combat shields, it'll hit like a truck. And currently, herO is unaware. Currently. You can see that herO, he's actually making a sentry here. With this sentry, he'll be able to hallucinate and confirm what's going on. So you're just trying to keep tabs on ByuN. Hallucination moves in, scouts the bio army, and does confirm the production. Sees all 3 Raxes. herO is now fully aware, and it's going to be on herO to keep up with ByuN. To slow down this army. If you remember, ByuN went for a similar build against Trigger on this map. Similar. Meanwhile, big shout out to completing the chat. God, thank you so much. Thank you so much for subscribing for 25 months, over 2 years of support, Pappy. Thank you so much. No blink. Ooh, no blink. There's no league for herO, losing 1, 2 stalkers. herO overextends. He should not have been out there. Yeah, not against concussive shell marauders, and herO gets punished. ByuN, he overwhelms. He breaks the army. That's already 3 stalkers going down. There's only 3 left. Clutch warp in. herO holds. But a messy defense out of herO. Oh, the sentry. Sentry barely survives. herO does hold on. Defense against the push. Back at home. ByuN is getting ready. Bunkers are on the way. Bunker at the natural. ByuN has the high ground. herO does pick off 2 Marines. Does catch a couple of Marines. Again, we're calming down. Overall, I would say this was still a better trade for ByuN, but herO at least survived and saves his third. Saves his third base, building back up. Now switching into charge, switching into a more gateway heavy composition. Eventually into splash damage. With the robo on the way, I'm leaning towards Colossus, but we'll keep an eye on herO. Split control, herO does take down the bunker. Catching at the bunker, going for the bay again. We do have the Colossus follow up here on the horizon. Meanwhile, ByuN, he just ignores the army, and ByuN, he's pushing. He's moving out. And again, this is the power of the map itself, the power of 10,000 feet. It's just such a small map. ByuN, he's already here. He's already across the map. He's already at the third. ByuN sims in. Sims forward. The Immortal has arrived, and herO holds. Here he does hold on. I say he's trying to hold the line here. ByuN does reinforce, but again pushing into a concave of stalkers and immortal. And ByuN overextends. He has to pull away. Has to pull out. Third CCs now in production for ByuN on location. Bay is now complete for herO. Again, herO just stands with the army, trying to pick up the Marines. First Colossus is almost out. herO just needs a little bit more time. Just buying time for the Colossus. Big stim. ByuN stims in. herO pulls away. The Immortal is exposed. And ByuN does not get it. Immortal barely survives. And here comes the Colossus. And ByuN has to get the hell out of here. Oh god. Yeah, massive swipes. Oh, the force fields, they lock him down. Yeah, ByuN bleeding out a lot of supply here, getting punished. He has to leave. There was a window where he could have gotten some damage done before the Colossus, but once it arrives, he has to respect it. He has to respect the Colossi. Bleeding out Marauders. And Mine's just getting baited. Does catch one of the Stalkers, but in the end, herO, he does hold, he does defend, and now herO is building up that Colossus count. Second Colossus on the way. ByuN switching into Vikings. Then you can see just one defense turn into the other, where herO, he defends, moves out slightly, and now ByuN is at home, fighting for his third. herO's fourth is late. This is a very late fourth base. We saw something similar to Trigger as well, but because of all the aggression from ByuN, herO's been hyper-fixated on defending and surviving. That means that ByuN is behind. Sorry, herO's behind. herO, he's behind economically. herO, he needs to find some damage soon. ByuN just keep up. Let's go. Mine shots to get baited. Oh, nice space on the Widow Mines. Gas Geyser goes down, 5 SCVs as well. Again, here he needs to find damage here, and so far he is. Nothing game ending, but just getting some damage here and there while he expands. Uh-oh, here getting caught out. Has to pull back. Likewise, herO has yet to delve into any further splash damage. Still just Colossus, no Storm, no Disruptors. Not yet. There's still more Colossus. Building up into 4. Fourth Colossus on the way. ByuN making 4 Vikings at a time. He already has 8, soon to be 12. That's ByuN collapsing in. One sack Colossus. Guess one. Not bad. One Colossus goes down. There's no War Prison with the main army. The Vikings just go to town here. 12 Vikings. They get 2 Colossus. Can they get 3? He can. Yeah, 3 Colossus go down. Can he get all 4? Jesus. Yeah, all 4 Colossus will fall. Massive pickoffs. herO overextends, losing everything. Vikings, they can even land, and I don't see herO holding. Not anymore. He just lost the entirety of his army, the entire backbone here. All 4 Colossus. That's 4 Colossi falling, papi. Ay, ay, ay. herO, he's lost map control. He's forced back to his 3rd base. herO, he is still expanding, getting a 5th. ByuN is holding his own. Waiting for more reinforcements. If ByuN was aware of the fringe expansions, I'm sure he'd be rotating in that direction. I mean, if he did, he could maybe force a base trade, which wouldn't be ideal for ByuN. Please, that goes. Please, that it goes. We have a 2nd robo on the way. herO, he is slowly recovering. Soon to be making 2 Colossus at a time. And this also can switch or can lead into Disruptors. Just because there's still no Storm. Oof. Massive Viking volley. Boys are crazy. herO still looking for a way in. Yeah, soldiers are going over the wall, over the river, the ravine. Hey. Calm down, herO. Calm down. Both players are maxing out, that is true, but I would still favor ByuN's overall army composition, at least currently. He has the fusion core on the way. That's going to be for Liberator range. That'll be for mass freedom, mass liberation. ByuN, he's getting there. Meanwhile, herO is still stuck in a very heavy zealot army. It's a lot of zealots. 3rd robo's on the way. This confirms that it should be a disruptor follow-up. That will help. But herO's not there yet. He's maxed. herO, he needs to free up supply. Losing Colossus is the way to do it, I guess. Another Colossus goes down, and here comes the first disruptor. And I'll give herO some opportunities. Zealots try to collapse in. herO going for the backstab. Doesn't get the CC. herO, he's cornering himself. He's got to be careful. Has to be so careful. There we go. herO, he does pivot away. Zealots, they bust into the mineral line. And so far they're distracting. Just causing big distraction. Remember, there are less expansions here on 10,000 feet, less bases. That may factor in. I mean, that already is. Jesus, mass EMPs covering everything. Yeah, they cover the army. Colossus are going down. There's 1 Colossus left. At the same time, Zelsay move in. You're trying to pull apart the attention of ByuN. Trying to, but it's not quite working. Yeah, ByuN, he defends. He defends well. He gets a Goliath, he gets it. No. Yeah, Colossus rallies in. Miscontrol. Yeah, rallies into the army. ByuN still maintains that supply lead. ByuN has just been more efficient. Just more efficient trades, more efficient pickups. ByuN just wants a 5th base. He wants that 5th expansion. herO trying to collapse in. Not quite able to. Bleeding out a lot of zealots. herO, he's also out of gas. We've been here before, but there's no gases on the right hand side. No gases in the center. No, I mean, he's still only on the 4 gases. Sorry, he's on 3. herO, he needs to take some gases. Like, these have been some expensive losses for herO, I'm concerned. As I say that, he does get into the mineral lines. Okay. SCVs are going down. herO, he's finding some damage. War Prism into the main base, going for the Warpin as well. Massive Warpin of zealots. But I'm shocked that herO still has not taken any other gases than the first 4. He's now on 2 gas mining. Like that, losing these Colossus and Disruptors, like it's expensive. It adds up. There we go. Gases are now being taken, but this is a late reaction by herO. He's gonna be so careful with this army because he cannot replenish. He can warp in zealots. That's the one thing that herO can do. As again, ByuN has still been much more efficient. ByuN is still maxed. ByuN cannot be active. And ByuN should be focusing on these fringe bases. We're not really expecting a big push out of ByuN, but we're expecting him to fight for the center expansions. Still not moving out. Again, he has opportunity to knock these bases down. He now scouts. Is now aware. ByuN is taking a little bit too... he just hasn't been able to push out, so here he's remaxed. Once again, he's remaxed on a very heavy zealot composition. Here blinks in. That's EMP. EMP goes up. Nova does graze the army. Second Nova. No major connections though. Yeah, again, ByuN just collapsed in. He just collapsed in. Massive Novas. Novas are connecting, but is it enough? He sims in. He can chase. Yeah, catching at 1, 2, 3, 4 disruptors. Every disruptor goes down. Even rallying in. And ByuN will take this fight. He'll take this fight. He can keep on pushing. The base is going to go down. Knocks down the expansion. And does ByuN keep going bottom left? Not quite. Yeah, it does pull back. But again, that was a better fight for ByuN. Thankfully, herO does have gases. He's now taking even more gases as well. So 2 more gases on the way. Oh, as ByuN is expanding here in the center of the map. Bold move. It's going to be a difficult map to, sorry, a difficult base to maintain. It's not going to be easy. And massive zealot run by. Disruptors reinforcing, but mass liberation has arrived. Disruptors can get within range of the mineral line. Oh god, but ByuN punishes, gets all three. Oh god. He gets all three disruptors. Ay, ay, ay. ByuN, calm down, Bappy, calm down, and he will knock down top right. Expansion will fall. Drop bottom left. So here is being torn apart. He cannot keep up. Not like this. As everything's on fire. And here he has to fight for the center of the map. He will go for the CC, so we have a bit of a back and forth. Here he will lose 2 expansions. Meanwhile, ByuN will lose 1. A bit of a back and forth trade. Bearing in mind, Liberators are left back at home, so herO can't really counterattack. He's going for it though. Okay, bold move. He's pushing into the freedom. He sees it. Here he sees all the freedom zones. He's like, you know what? I'm good. I'm good. Does recall on the right hand side. Does save his center expansion. This is the most important mining base for herO at the moment, as he's mining out of the linear third and the center base. So here he cannot lose his expansion. If he does, that's going to be game. herO does have a bank to work with, but it's mainly a mineral bank, not gas. Oh god. As the freedom has arrived, ByuN, he rotates most of those liberators. Rotates over. Bottom left is cancelled. Now we'll just catch 1 ghost. And ByuN's moving in. ByuN is moving in, and he's got mass liberation. And what is the answer to all these liberators? There is none. Not for herO. He has nothing here to deal with those liberators. He has no Tempest. His Sorkers on the left hand side. They're fighting ByuN army head on. Oof. Yeah, the Sorkers are going to be going down. And the main army goes through. The main base goes down as well. And herO's falling apart. It's falling apart, Bappy. Expansion goes down. herO barely has any income. As ByuN is still not done, knocking down more expansions. And here he's all in. Yeah, oh god, he's all in, pushing into mass freedom zones. He gets punished for it. Yeah, liberation just rains down on the army. Punishing the counterattack, punishing the base trade, the attempted all in. ByuN came in the production. Takes down both robos. So again, he tries to commit in. Nova's going off. Stalkers able to reinforce. And this drop is going to be cleaned up eventually. But at a cost. At a cost here. ByuN took down 2 expansions, took down mineral lines. herO, he is down to barely any mining here. Again, the soup does lie. You might be looking at this and be thinking, oh, herO's got 52 workers, just like his opponents. He's not mining. He's not mining efficiently whatsoever. He's heavily oversaturated, and there's just idle probes. The economy is not there. And ByuN, of course, he remaxes. He's already remaxed. He's already rebuilt. ByuN coming in from behind, catching up the zealots. Chasing herO. At this point, we're just letting it sink in. As herO is fighting his heart out here. Now finally working towards the Temple Archives, working towards Storm. ByuN does set up. Yeah, he's just pushing into the bases here, knocking down, denying the only mining that herO has left. Once again, here he cannot fight the main army head on. He knows it, so he has to counterattack. It's the only thing that herO can do. No. As here he just can't mine. He has no economy. Yeah, the final workers are going down. Here he kills the CC. Gets an expansion. which is nice, I suppose. Meanwhile, ByuN is hunting for the Colossus. Stims in. Dust him in. Isn't quite able to engage. And here he's down to 3 Colossus. 3 Colossus, 3 Eye Templar, 3 Archons. Storm is not done, so that Storm is not a factor. It's he's got feedbacks though. True. He's got the feedbacks. Yes, here he does commit into the final fight. GG gets called, and ByuN, he will take game number 1. GG. Whew. GG, well played. ByuN will take a lead in the series. Again, here he had a shaky mid game here. We saw that he was unable to really gain map control. He was unable to deny ByuN's expansions. ByuN was able to freely build up his 3, 4, and 5 base setup. As we try to emphasize, this is something unique to this map, right? It's unique to 10,000 feet, where the bases are very tight-knit, they're very close together, so it's easier for a Terran player to get up to 5 bases, and herO couldn't stop it. Could not stop it, could not slow him down. ByuN was able to perfect his army. herO was being a little bit wasteful, if you recall, and if you recall as well, he was stuck on a low gas count. There was a time in this game where he was stuck on 2 gases mining. He was maxed, but he had no gas income, so he couldn't afford these rough trades. He was losing Colossus and Stalkers time and time again. He was burning through that bank. That's why I was concerned for him. Even though at the time here he had like a 4k mineral bank, that meant nothing. That did mean nothing. That's only Zealots, and Zealots are designed to harass. They can struggle here as the game progresses into a more refined mid game and late game as well. GG. GG, well played. With that, ByuN does take a lead in the series. Now we're going to be loading to game number 2. We'll see if herO can bounce back and force the ace match. Let's go. Oh my god, another small map. What were the vetoes? Game 1 is 10,000 feet, game 2 is Ruby Rock. I did mention this before, but generally here, Terran are favored on these smaller maps. They're allowed to be more aggressive, more in the face of the Protoss, and we'll see how our players approach Ruby Rock. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner of Ruby Rock, we have our South Korean Terran player, we have the blue Terran for Shopify, leading the series 1-0. It is ByuN. And spawning in the top left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the South Korean Protoss player, we have the red Protoss representing T1. It is herO. Let's go. Let us go. That Zealot micro and task management is too clean. I recall when that comment was made, that was specifically when herO was counterattacking, and that's true in the sense that herO, I believe that was when herO, he went into the main base of the Warp Prism. I think he had his main army pressuring the base on the right hand side, and Zealots towards the center as well. Yes, there was a lot of aggression going on, but the problem was that no damage was being dealt. When you're being that aggressive with such a low gas count and a heavy Zealot army, you need to find damage. You need to kill SCVs, and you need mineral lines. You need to kill mineral lines, you need to kill SCVs, deny bases. That was not happening, unfortunately. So herO wasn't really getting much value, and he was ending up in a worse position without those gases. Despite being active with all those Zealots and being aggressive, like, it wasn't quite worth it there. As now we're settling into Ruby Rock. Once again, this is another smaller map in the map pool, shorter rush distance by ground. We'll see how aggressive our players plan on being here. There's a chance, especially because ByuN has a lead in the series, that he might be even more assertive this time. Remember, what happened last game, ByuN went for a 3 racks early stim timing. Did go early stim. Did punish herO early on when it came to herO Stalkers, if you recall. He got punished by the early Marauder aggression. So again, ByuN had a cleaner and stronger early game and mid game, leading into what we saw in the late game. Here, once again, economic opener. I'm going for a Rax expand. This time, no early tech lab and no early concussive shell. This time, it's going to be Rax into reactor into factory. So looking like a potentially Reaper Hellion, potentially. Bearing in mind that ByuN is being greedy. Building up into Reactor Marine, into Widowmine drop. That's a hallucination. Does get eyes in the production. Oh, base at the mine shot. Base at the mine shot. Does scout the 1-1-1. This time is aware there's no crazy fast in timing. So different build out of ByuN. And herO knows. Here he knows, he's aware. He should be keeping units in positioning to defend against the drops. To defend against the mines. We're just settling in. We're settling in here. There's going to be a robo follow-up here out of herO. Does go for the robo. Faster third expansion. So quite a greedy build actually, going 2-gate blink. So 2-gate blink. Widow Mine drop comes in. Dropping into the main. herO does pull the boys. Oh, it doesn't quite kill the Widow Mine. Doesn't quite kill. Getting one probe so far. Here comes the second mine into the natural. Bam! Does drop in. And herO... Oh! Jesus, pulls away in time. It does pull away in time. Nice retargeting out of ByuN. Just buying more time here. Ooh, but the shot doesn't go off. So a bit of a risk from ByuN wasn't worth it. herO defends. Here he defends, cleans up the Widow Mines, Medevac does make it back home, and now we can embrace the mid-game. Now, what's important here is what herO got away with. Remember, herO, he went 2-gate blink into a third base, and he doesn't get punished for it. So, greedy build out of herO. Behind this, he delays his forge, he delays extra gateways, he delays anything else for earlier Bay. Earlier Colossus. In general, this is all just quite greedy here from herO. And we'll see if he gets away with it. As ByuN, he should have taken note of the lower gateway count at least. Didn't see the timing of the third base. But ByuN can piece it together. Raven moving out. And as opposed to the last game, herO, he will have a stronger mid-game here because of the stronger early game. So herO looking much better. Much better this time. Moving into the main, getting 2 probe kills. ByuN does deal some harassing damage. ByuN also scouts all the gateways. Just a regular 3-1-1. ByuN should be expanding. We should be seeing a third momentarily. ByuN sinks out with a marine drop. Again, there's a lot of pressure on ByuN to find some damage right now. He needs to find damage. And there's scan. herO just containing ByuN. Remember, here he has no intention of actually pushing in because hero's been so greedy. Faster third, faster Bay, faster tech. Now getting a fourth base as well. Faster fourth. Again, just all things greed out of herO. It does mean that ByuN has the larger army. Does have a larger army. He's pushing out across the map. As we mentioned before, there's a lot of pressure on ByuN to find some damage here. Sims in. Doesn't get a Stalker. Doesn't get the Stalkers. Clean control here out of herO. ByuN, he's trying to dive on top of the army. Trying to dive and get within range of the expansion. Okay. herO going to be coming in from behind. Zealots are going down. herO doesn't really have much here. Gets one tank. He gets one. Nice bait. Nice bait with the hallucination. That's going to be a real Colossus this time. And ByuN, can he get the expansion? It's going to be close. It's going to be close. It looks like he barely will not. Yeah, here he holds, he defends. Again, that hallucination tanks so much. Oh. Yes, ByuN doesn't have enough to break through. The aggression has failed. He barely fails to break the fourth base. And herO holds. Doesn't lose a Colossus. Doesn't lose a Colossus. Here now building up into 3. That was so committed for ByuN. Again, the goal there was to at least deny the expansion. He failed to do so. He traded with the armies. He traded well initially, but bled out so much supply. Marines, tanks, marauders. The Raven went down at the same time as well. And here it takes the lead. Here he takes the lead after that fight. ByuN is looking rough. He's now taking up Starports, Ghost Academy, 3rd TC. Oof, and here comes herO. How many gateways? 7. He's got 7 gates behind this, throwing down 2 more, getting up to 9. Building up to 9 gateways, and here it just has to wait for ByuN to expand and then push in. Oh, okay, here going for a backstab instead. So he's posturing at the 3rd base. He's trying to distract. Prism goes in first. Okay, so the Prism distracts to the main army. A little bit lopsided. As herO moves in, does not lock down the SCVs. Despite that, 8 SCVs still go down. And the 3rd base is denied. And this is all that herO needed to do. All he needed to achieve, it denies the 3rd base, trading well. EMP lands. Uh-oh. Here's gonna be careful. Here he steps forward. Oh my god. Okay, he's pushing in. Gonna lose every single Colossus. This is a big overextension from herO. herO, he should not have been here. I mean, he did well denying the 3rd. He just kept going. Oh, but it might be worth it. Yeah, it might be worth it here. With reinforcements here, he still trades well. Catching out more Marauders. Oh. We're getting messy. We're getting messy here. If herO had denied the 3rd and then backed off, I mean, he'd be ahead, he'd stay ahead. But now we're getting messy. He lost all 3 Colossi. He lost a bunch of Stalkers. ByuN is getting zoned away. Some rough losses here for ByuN. Here he has to get out of here though. Takes off 2 more Vikings. But he has to leave. Has to pull away. Gets punished. Bleeding out 2 more Stalkers. Here he's still rallying, still reinforcing. Here it does have the better economy. But here he has to calm down. We gotta calm down. Has to back off. ByuN is hoping to stabilize. Here we're still rallying across even with the Colossus. Calm down. Second Robo's on the way, making 2 Colossus at a time. Again, here he had a bigger lead in this game, but it is slowly closing. I still favor herO just because of the economy, but he's been overly aggressive. The Viking counts are building up. There's now 6 Vikings. There's not that many Stalkers here. If ByuN wanted to, he could actually dive on the Colossus. Yeah, he will. He will. Does dive in. Vikings, they get the 1. Oh my, barely nuts. 1 HP? The 2 HP Colossus. He gets away. I can't say the same for the rest though. Yeah, the army stims in, chasing down more Stalkers. Here he has to get the hell out of here. Bleeding out so much supply. ByuN is snowballing out of control. There's still 3 Colossus out. Yeah, it's still 3, soon to be 4. Here he's building up a healthier Colossus count now. Not looking too bad. Here he's trying to hold on. Disruptor's on the way. Again, it's still very tense. Oh, EMP connects. Yeah, EMP lands. There we go. He gets 1, gets 2 Colossus, finally. And ByuN is overwhelming. He can chase him down. Chasing down the 3rd Colossus. Oof. Final volley goes off. There's 1 Colossus remaining. And ByuN is so close to just breaking herO here and now. This one disruptor. There's one disruptor, there's one Nova. Never goes off. Mainly zones, no connection. And ByuN is doing it. He's doing it. We have one Nova left. Colossus goes down. Oh, the F2. Prism moves in. Bit of friendly fire. And again, here he has been broken. ByuN. Ay. Looking at 2-0. Remember, it is just the best of 3. The best of 3. Bappy third base goes down. Disruptors were kept alive. They technically have potential, but they can't make up a 40 supply. Not like this. No shot. More disruptors coming in. Okay. ByuN has to be careful. He has to respect it. EMP on the Zealots. And again, here his economy has been shut down. He's down to 56 workers. He's trying to get another base up and running, but the probe count is just very low probe counts. herO going for a Zealot run by, trying to buy some time. He is slowly amassing those disruptors. True, they're getting up there. The Vikings are now dead supply. And herO does distract. herO forcing everything back home. Zealots hit the third base. At the same time, herO hits the fourth. ByuN's out of position. Has some Panic Novas. Panic Novas means that hero's going to lose everything. He's going to lose everything here. He overextends. Oh no! And the army stims in. Disruptors, they do not get away. And ByuN takes the fight. Again, here he could never fight head on. He was just hoping to harass, and he will lose almost everything. This is the standing army. Got a handful of stalkers. We got 3 zealots. Disruptor count was reset. We just couldn't fight head on. Not like this. Again, we get some okay disruptors, but there's just no support. There's no support for the disruptors. There's no buffer, I should say. Every disruptor goes down. Expensive losses here for herO. ByuN scouts the fresh mining base. herO forced a recall. Now he's going to make his final stand. His final stand! No. It's all or nothing for herO. You can at least catch out the Vikings. Oh, the lift! The lift just in time. ByuN, calm down. We don't even need the Vikings anymore. He's crazy. Avoids the Novas, stims on 4, takes them both down. Technically, herO can now go into Colossus, but he just has no economy. Oof. And Nova does more friendly fire than anything, catching out 2 Zealots. Oh, better Nova. Very nice. Catching up Marauders, but it's too little too late. It's too little too late. That was maybe the best Nova we've had this game. Was towards the end. As ByuN is just rallying at this point. He knows how close he is to just break. I mean, he's already broken herO. Just trying to close it out. Cashing the final disruptor. There's one robot left. herO trying to hang in there. And GG gets called. GG, well played. ByuN, he will claim the series 2-0, advancing on to the playoffs of LiuLi Cup Grand Finals. GG. Whew, GG, well played. Congratulations, Esther. ByuN, very impressive play here as ByuN does claim the series 2-0 to advance on into the playoffs, knocking herO out of the tournament in the group stage. Very well done, very impressive play. Bearing in mind that again, herO is on fire right now. herO, he's won everything over the past 2-3 months. herO has won all the big premier events. He's earned so much money throughout the course of December, January, and February as well. But now coming into March, herO to be knocked out in the group stage here is a big upset. It's a big upset here. I was favoring Trigger and herO to make it through out of the groups, and instead we had Trigger and ByuN making it through instead. Very impressive play here by ByuN. Once again, I will say that we could have seen an ace match, and I feel a little bit robbed of an ace match, specifically in this series. Game 2, herO was ahead. He was ahead. He had the advantage. Remember, herO, he went for a 2-gate blink opener into a third base, and he got away with it. He got away with a fast bay. He was able to contain ByuN as well. herO was ahead, and herO hit the third base right on time as well, crippling the economy. ByuN was down and out, but what did herO do? He kept pushing. He denied the third, killed the SCVs, and he kept pushing into the natural, whereas he didn't need to. He was getting a fourth base behind it. We could just back off and just expand and just build up and max out and tech up as well and get a fifth expansion, but no, herO kept pushing into the natural, and he lost everything in the process. He pushed in, and he lost the Colossus, he lost the Stalkers, he lost his lead. He lost his lead at pushing in, and with that, ByuN, he was able to recover and have a very impressive comeback. So GG well played there for ByuN. Meanwhile, herO aggression working against him here this series, or this entire broadcast actually. We saw a lot of aggression out of herO. We saw some really rough early and mid game, and ByuN capitalized on that in both series. ByuN, this is not the first time he beat herO today. He beat him earlier in the group as well, in the first round. So GG well played with that. Congratulations. Speaking of, I mean, we can just catch up on the bracket here. Let's go. We can catch up. As initially we had Trigger took down Scarlett 2-0. ByuN took down herO in the initial series as well, 2-0. So ByuN, he 4-0s herO in the group stage. Crazy, baby, crazy. Este ByuN. Meanwhile, Trigger does advance on in first place. Trigger to take down ByuN 2-1. Again, Trigger has been on fire as well as of late. That's why I was favoring herO and Trigger to make it through the group stage. But no, ByuN, he had herO's number. We did have herO having some, I would say, some messy play in the first series, in the first best of 3. Coming into the second series, it was a little bit cleaner out of herO, but again, ByuN still had the stronger early game on 10,000 feet, and likewise here as well. Like, we saw that herO was maybe just a little bit overconfident, over aggressive to lose his lead in game 2. But GG well played. Congratulations to Trigger and ByuN as they advance on into the playoffs, and we have one group left in Group D. Group D is going to be, I believe, in 2 days. In 2 days time, bam, you can see our schedule here before you. We just wrapped up our Tuesday morning broadcast, Tuesday morning of LiuLi Cup. We do not have a cast this evening, bear that in mind. Only one cast today. How dare we? But you can see our schedule Tuesday. Here on Tuesday, we just wrapped up with our morning broadcast. We don't have a cast this evening. Tomorrow we're going to be live with Pigastar Cup and some Wardy TV Monday. Thursday we have Group D and the rest of LiuLi Cup. You can see it here: Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. 4 days straight of LiuLi Cup action. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. We also have the Pondcast Thursday evening and Ducklings Open Saturday evening as well. That's our Diamond tournament for Diamond players. And we have Sparkling Tunic Cup a Sunday evening. That's an open tournament to all. So open tournament, that's where we see players like herO, like Shin, like ByuN, Solar, Showtime Classic, Zaun, and many others. All the top players, they face off for the tuna, pappy. They face off for the tuna. GG well played. If you want to support us, you can do so by following us. I mean, you can see we're live on a daily basis. We're live multiple times a day as well. We cast more StarCraft than anyone else out there, more than Wardy, more than Steadfast. We have the quantity, and we have a little bit of the quality as well. Little bit. So you can support us if you wish by following us. So you can see in the chats we have our links here to our socials. We have Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Discord, YouTube as well. We do upload to YouTube on a daily basis. So if you see something that you like here, if you missed out on the earlier rounds of this tournament, like Group A, Group B, if you missed out on Homestray Cup, if you missed out on Thunderfire, if you missed out on Rongi Cup, if you missed out on anything StarCraft, then we got you covered. It's all on our YouTube channel. So on YouTube, we do upload on a daily basis. Speaking of, I do have to go and start editing and cutting and scheduling VODs. That's my plan for this afternoon. That's gonna be what we're up to. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. If you want to support us monetarily, you can do so via Patreon! Patreon in the chat. Our Patreon does fund our tournaments on a regular basis. Our tournaments over the weekend are funded via Patreon. So Ducklings Open and Sparkling Tunic Cup and Master Swan Open as well. Hold on, bam. You can see it on my left. On my left, those are the 3 tournaments that we do host on a regular basis. SDO and MSO are monthlies. STC is a weekly, just as a heads up. And again, it's all funded via Patreon, and you can help us grow the events and grow the prize pool for these tournaments via Patreon as well. you can help us out. You can help out the pro scene and the amateur scene. You can help out StarCraft if you wish, Otherwise, thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. It is almost 3 p.m. here. It's 2:30 p.m. here in Australia. Time for breakfast. Like, I'm starving. Oh god. But GG, well played. We'll see you guys tomorrow. We'll see you tomorrow for Pigstar Cup, and we'll see you tomorrow for there we go, for WarDTV Monday as well. I might reschedule WarDTV Monday. We'll see. Patches, he got in contact and he does want us to cast the Patches Showdown, which is a set of show matches. So we have to organize and schedule that at some point as well. There's a lot we're catching up on, but we're almost there. We've almost fully caught up. Bearing in mind that around the corner we have RSL, the Revival StarCraft League is around the corner, Bellamgen Star Zagora is around the corner as well. Plenty of content, plenty of StarCraft. Otherwise, thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys tomorrow for some more StarCraft. Ciao, bye, ciao. See you tomorrow. Hasta luego.